What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Don't Give Up the Ship podcast. Couldn't tell you what episode is. All I know is it's my last as the host. So that's the big news with this one. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. So I apologize for my looking haggard. A couple days ago, I recorded this episode with the person that I am turning over the platform to. For context, which we talk about it in the episode, but you've all noticed how absent I have been, and are pretty familiar with the reasons why. But as far as why I'm kind of ending my run as the guy hosting the show, it's kind of like a constellation of things. We talk about it in the episode in detail, but it's basically the further I get from my retirement date, the less and less engaged I feel in the types of things that I feel like I need to be to do this well, and to advocate for the people that I care about and such. So, which is the audience, obviously, but that's a piece of it. A piece of it is part of me just doesn't want to be engaged in those things either. I thought that distancing myself from some of the institutional expertise type minutia and the organizational framework and the changes in policy and whatever, those types of debates that, and just focusing on the academic stuff, that would kind of reinvigorate me. And it just didn't. And it's not because I don't still love everybody that listens to the show, and that has expressed their appreciation and gratitude throughout the years. It's just, a big part of me feels just done here. I never thought I would feel that. I never thought I would arrive at a place where I felt like I'd done enough. But I found myself feeling like I was being repetitive, and I did have a hard time just getting up for that thing that I said I wanted to do. It still sounds fun in my head, the long form educational type stuff and research projects. And I told Arianna I may do some of those things and then just send them to her to publish occasionally. But I might not. It's extremely likely you'll see me on the show again as just a guest with Arianna, or her just bringing me in for certain things that she wants to talk about. And she will continue to have access to me forever and my entire Rolodex of people that have been involved in the platform in the past. But for me, it was just time to go. And we get into a lot of the reasons why and what kind of brought me here, and then what led Arianna to be willing to take over. Because at first I was just I'm just done. I'm just going to shut it down. I'll archive everything and just leave the episodes on YouTube and SoundCloud, which is just how it feeds to all the other podcast platforms. And then just kind of shutter everything else. And then I thought about it for a minute, and then I'm I wonder if anybody would be interested in taking over. And in my head, it was the only person that I wanted to do it was her. So we discuss all that. I'll spend a little more time explaining myself at the end here. But let's get into the discussion with me and Arianna, kind of laying it all out. Not just why I'm leaving, but what she hopes to accomplish in the chair, being the new DGUTS. So check it out. Later, but what's up, dude?
So much. I was looking, actually looking on what is documented to the public, because obviously we talk, but the last time that we did this this on camera, recorded, was the one that we did after my season.
Yeah, which was
2+ years ago.
Yeah, almost 3 years ago. Yeah, which is, I retired 3.5 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
almost.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, something like that.
It's because I was trying to think where did we leave off? What's been missing?
Right.
Everything. The whole all of my chiefing was not like involved. So a lot has happened.
On the podcast, you and I have talked a ton, but like
Right.
it's
For as far as
recording,
knows, yeah. But yeah, I went to, and since then I've been to 2 different commands. I went to the Naval Academy and did social media for admissions for a little while. That was really interesting.
That's cool.
And now I'm in Virginia, where I moved, and then I moved locally again. So I'm still getting settled in a new house here.
Are you doing crypto tech things again, or I forget?
I mean, I'm still a CTI, but
I know,
as far as like, am I doing the thing?
Are you
it's
doing the job?
I haven't done my actual job like the vast majority of my career. So, but what I do now is
makes sense.
I work at the Flagstaff at the TICOM, so like I oversee all the programs for all of the domain. So
gotcha. So perfect time to start a podcast, criticizing.
Right, yeah, why not? Couldn't. Is there ever a right time to do anything ever?
Nah, honestly. No. Yeah. But you can use Damo and the boys to defend yourself. Be like, he's a command master chief. I
actually was just talking to someone about that. Yeah. Yep.
Nobody gives him shit.
Yep.
They're a little less inflammatory than I have been historically, and you probably too.
Yeah. I tend to be a little spicy, So yeah.
Well, let's talk about and like forgive me if I'm out of practice here, y'all. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
It took me a second to figure out how to send her the invite link on this.
And then a solid good 10 minutes of me to make sure that my microphone is even working.
But we swear we're professionals-ish or something. Tell me about originally, like you and I got introduced because so I reached you with the podcast somehow, and then you reached out to me. We connected. You're basically me, but 10 years before now or something ish.
Yeah.
And a girl. Yeah.
The mini me version. That too. Yeah. I guess the lady part. Which is, I don't know if you noticed that in my notes part of like, what do I call myself? Because I feel like I shouldn't call myself by name.
As far as I'm concerned,
but when we link together, then who's who? And it made me think
for this episode, you're still you, but next episode, you can be DGUTS. Yeah,
it's like it's funny to think. I don't know if you've ever, probably not in the submarine community, I guess. Well, it could be, but the number of times that I have been stationed with people where, not that this is the case, but there are married people with the same name.
Yeah.
And so there's a man and a woman. It's like,
both the same last name.
In my brain, it was like Lady DGUTS, but that just doesn't have the good ring to it. And
I mean, call yourself whatever you want. I don't care. I guess,
but
I would just, you have my permission to use the DGUTS title, I guess. I don't care. I'm not going to be using it. So, and I guess we should lead with, hey, I'm turning the podcast over to Arianna.
Probably a good point. Yeah. Maybe that is the good start.
Maybe we'll start there, but then we'll go into the history behind. So to the shock of absolutely no one at this point, because I've been an absentee podcaster, not podcaster, whatever. I'm punching out. I'm turning it over to the only person I would trust with it. I was going to just shut it down and leave the archive material up for people to access whenever they want, but I'm spent, and there's lots of reasons. We'll get into the detail of it later, but and I mean, I've probably talked about a lot of it on podcasts too, just trying to update people, and as I struggle bust my way through post-retirement and trying to get back on the horse and all that kind of stuff. But it's just, we'll get into all that later. But anyway, turning it over to her. She's going to be the new DGUTS. Surprise.
I thought about trying to memorize again, you stand relieved, we have the watch kind of a deal.
God.
I thought about doing that just for funsies, just to make you laugh. But
I didn't do a retirement ceremony for a reason.
Right,
I'm all set.
Yeah, but we're passing the torch, or turning over the watch, or whatever.
Yeah, and you're fucking terrified, but it'll be fine.
A little bit. I'm super excited. I'm very excited, but I feel like they're really big shoes to fill, and so and we talked about that of the thought process.
Yeah,
that this is, which is why I couldn't let it end. I wasn't okay to say this is all done, and so in order to keep it alive and keep contributing to what I think is an incredible resource, I'm like, okay, then even though for so many reasons it could be a terrible idea, I'm not okay.
Which I did warn you about the first go around, but we can talk about that when you tell your story. But
right.
But yeah, and that also I agree with you, which is why I was just I'm done and I'm gonna shut her down and all that, and I was gonna I was gonna come out of pocket to just leave like to keep paying for the SoundCloud, the RSS feed, to leave all the episodes up audio wise, and then just leave the YouTube channel up, and the rest of it I was just gonna shut down. But
just silently like Homer into the bushes.
Kind of. I mean, I probably would have posted some short video clip just being like, "Yeah, I'm out," but the stuff will stay up. So which I'll do anyway too. I told you I'll post like a farewell video or something, but maybe I'll just roll with this. I don't know. Yeah, but it's not, and which I'm very excited about as well, because like I agree with you that like I have objective quality evidence that it's been an amazing resource for a lot of people, and including you, and like I'm excited. Look, just reading through the notes you sent me about your plans for the future, like I'm very excited about that, and I'm excited about someone being excited running it, because I like for a long time it's like I was doing it more out of an obligation I felt to the listeners than I was out of the passion that started it in the first place, which was fine. And it wasn't like I wasn't interested in it. And I'm still like interested in the topics and the discussions, but the further away I got from it, the less and less I had the type of enthusiasm that I know you'll have. So I'm really excited that you are going to be doing it. And you were the only person I would have trusted with doing it anyway. So
I appreciate it. Yeah. But I think a lot of that comes from like we're just super similar, and you definitely contributed to my upbringing. Once we identified our similarities, it was like this. I was continued to grow this way, in a good way. So
this couldn't work
big
out
shoes
any
to fill. It is.
You'll be fine. Yeah. I've told the story on the podcast, and I think I've told you as well, like the whole first few years it was imposter syndrome like crazy. Like because I was a chief, no stars over my anchor. I was like, all these people are gonna be like, how dare this dude? Which I wasn't doing as much of the like critical of the Cheesemess stuff back then. I did some, but like not. I was still in the inn, and
you were like you were just.
I was a little more
hoo-yah all the time.
I was a little more hoo-yah like button for all the but I also thought like I held a lot of the same beliefs. They weren't as like ingrained, and I wasn't as like I didn't go as hard as I would today, just because I felt like an obligation to the organization, the Navy, submarines, the Cheesemess, all those things, while I was still a member of them, to be like professional about it and to not so I was more like I went back and listened to a bunch of old episodes, like especially the Initiation Chronicles ones, before doing the retrospective episodes, and and I talked about it in those episodes, but I felt like some stuff I had changed my mind on, or just went further down the rabbit hole as I got more experiential evidence that like, I'm right about this. This thing is broken.
Yeah.
But then some of it I was holding back intentionally because I just felt like the things I wanted to say weren't professional while I'm wearing anchors to work. So I just was like, I'm going to wait.
I mean, I feel like that's part of it, but I also think, at least for me, it's hard. You can both things can be true. Like, and I was thinking about how to word this earlier. Like, so I got a puppy. I don't know if I told you that. I got a dog a couple months ago, right? And I love this dog. Like sometimes she pees on the floor.
Yep.
And like that sucks. It's not great, right? So, but it doesn't mean that I like love this puppy any less.
Right.
And
it's a good analogy.
And I don't like just focus on one part of it and ignore the other, right? Or like you have to be aware of both things. So like, there's definitely things that I would change about the Navy, like as an organization, about the Cheesemess, about all of this, about season, whatever, right? But especially because I am in it and I'm involved in it, it feels not an obligation to be professional, but an obligation to positively contribute to it and have more balance of like, this is the ideal, this might be real, but I'm still going to move towards the ideal, because if I don't, then we're not going anywhere. We're not going to continue to grow.
Right. And that should be like, that is the stated like goal of the organization in a bunch of different ways throughout like the documents that we do have that govern kind of like what it's supposed to be. But I like, for me, I think it was more like It was the professionalism piece, but like, yeah, it was like just being a good steward of the organization. Like I'm a part of it. I'm responsible for it being successful. So tearing it down right now seems like a bad idea. But once I was an outside observer, I'm like, oh, game on. Like, because I did think there were just things that had to be said out loud, in my opinion, in my analysis of like, if there's ever going to be any meaningful change in the Chiefs mess, I think the only way unless we just got a McPon that went hard and was like one of us in the sense of like how we think, and really went hard in reforming the Chiefs mess in ways that it clearly needs. It's like, okay, cool, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. And then by the time somebody like you or I get to that point, there's going to be a whole new problem set, and all the junior sailors are going to be like, well, why the fuck are you doing all this other stuff? Like, this isn't even what we want done. This is what you wanted done 15 years ago. And it's like 20 years ago. That's like, because that's just the nature of the organization. So like, I think that I like kind of as I've explained in the past, it's like one of the reasons I was comfortable with retiring was because I was like, I can make a bigger impact with the podcast anyway. Yeah. Because if I can change the minds of individual chiefs one at a time, eventually it's going to affect the organization. And that was the idea. And I think that probably happened to a degree. And I think that like, yeah, but some of those things needed to be said out loud, because one of the best like pieces of feedback that I got was a whole bunch of active duty chiefs after I started saying things like that were like, I thought I was the only one that felt this way. Yeah. Yep. Thank God someone's saying this out loud. I thought I was the only one that felt this way, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And so hopefully those discussions are happening more. I'm sure it hasn't, like, you know, it's a slow moving thing, slow to change, but
I couldn't tell you if it's more or less, because I've been talking about this shit since before I quote unquote should have. Right?
Yeah, so right. You were trying. Let's go. Let's do that now. So like, let's talk about this. So when back to me bringing you into this podcast universe. So like, you reached out and were incredibly enthusiastic and wanted to help.
Yeah.
And
I sent you an email for like, hey, I want your feedback about something. I honestly don't remember what it was, but like, hey, I'm interested in this thing, or like, here's a question or something. And you made a whole episode in response to my email and then sent me an email and we're like, yeah, you know, there was a lot to say. So I recorded it, whatever. And either in the email or in that podcast, you had said something about, if you want to talk more, like reach out, and we ended up doing it, and we had.
I don't even remember any of that, so that's awesome.
I have to go back and look. I'll check my email just because I'm actually curious what was my initial. I think I told you, like, the first thing I ever listened to was the Initiation Chronicles and the Teaching of the Creed before I made Chief. Yeah, and I was like, I like this dude, I like this vibe, and so I went back to the beginning and just started listening from the beginning. So I didn't know, even at the time that I reached out to you, that you were retired, or at least on terminal. Or
I was on my, I don't know. I know the first episode we did was Mini Me, because that was the one where you were just a guest.
Yeah. But in my email, I remember being like, Master Chief, and you were like, that's not real anymore. Like, yeah, something like that. And,
maybe.
Because I was just like, you had just been promoted in my timeline of listening when I reached out. Gotcha. So, but that wasn't the real time. I was like, I was behind in my time. But yeah, it was. Or I think I actually might have said Senior Chief, and when we talked, you're like, actually, I got another star, but I've already retired, so like,
so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I only wore it for like 9 months before I retired, so it was
I was out of like.
I barely got used to it.
Timeline when I reached out, and so we ended up having a discourse, and was like, "This is good vibes. Let's continue." And it just like kind of built on itself and grew. And and I also had this kind of side project that I'm nothing if not stubborn, right? So I had this idea to try to prove a point, like, yes, with the Trash Panda Talks, but also with TikTok. Yeah, right? TikTok, and we had talked about like using it just in general. And I'd actually gone to visit one of the OpNav offices, because I had just moved to Maryland, and I was, being the person I am, saw some policy, or I think I called someone in a nav admin. I was like, I'm interested in more, and got invited by this force to go there. Right? Yep. And so we were talking about, I was trying to hung out with like force master chiefs and shit. Yeah. And mind you, I'm still like just first class here. But I was hungry for it. I was seeking it out. I'm going after it. And I think you and I had talked about it. I talked to other people about using social media and meet them where they are. Right. Even back when Russ was the MICPON, they used to do the all hands on Facebooks and or Facebook Live or whatever. And I was talking to them about it, and this is how you could use it, and this is what you could do, and not this like ambassador shit that they tried to do before.
And then Harvey Daniels got on CNN and everybody was like freaking out, and it's like
so bad.
And it was all bullshit anyway. Like
it was.
They weren't getting paid. Like it wasn't. Right. It was so stupid, like, dude. And so then the Navy got scared. And they're like, never mind.
Exactly. And so I was trying to like just bring up more concepts of how you could do it officially, right? From those official pages. But then if you allow people like Alexis Travis or Harvey Daniels or whoever, right? If you, I'm not saying endorse it, but allow it. Look at things could come out of
Christina
it. Right?
D'Arienzo, man,
right?
Like she was the OG on TikTok.
And so even though there were already people out there doing it, I decided I'll make a case study. I'll show them that it works, and boy, does it. I learned quickly that the internet sure does have a reach.
And the CT community pays very close attention.
Yes, we do. And I have no regrets, right? But I'm gonna stand on business 10 toes down every single time. And that's not necessarily a positive thing, but it is a very true thing about me.
It is. It just I tell people this. I've told first classes this my whole career and into retirement. And I think the first one I had this conversation with was a young lady named Melissa Hartley that is now a retired senior chief that was a CS1 A school instructor of mine. And she reminded me a lot of me and you for that matter. But like, she's just a hard-headed, like has very strong opinions. We didn't agree on everything, but she was like willing to like bow up to any chief, senior chief or master chief on her. She did not give a fuck. And I told her, I'm like, I know when she was leaving, I said, I know we've butted heads a lot while you've been here, but every single thing that you've been told your entire career is like a problem is going to become an asset as soon as you put khakis on, right? So like
weird how that happens,
isn't it? Like you got an attitude problem and a big mouth and you're unprofessional when you're that way as a first class or below. But then as soon as you put on khakis, you're assertive and you like are advocating for your people and you're like won't back down from conflict. Like it's all of a sudden it just gets repackaged as an asset, and it did. And she was great.
I'll say it doesn't always. I still get.
I mean, sure, but
people will come to me and be like, "Hey, you should maybe tone it down a little, or think about your tone." Like, but when it's when it works, everyone's like, "Thanks, that's we needed this vibe."
The submarine force, for the most part, just recognized that they could use me to be like the pit bull, like just like go point them that way. We need something done, like. So it's like it was kind of like it worked a lot better for me, probably because I was in the submarine force, I think. But like if I had been in the surface Navy, it probably would have been a fucking problem. Like a bigger problem. I probably would have retired chief for sure if I was in the surface Navy, or it probably would have worked in other communities maybe, but like and either way, it's like I would tell people that all the time, and you're like that. Like you're somebody that like you have all these things that were a problem your whole career, and now you're chief and suddenly they're assets.
But and it was a big problem when I when I magnified it on the internet, right?
And then so you magnified it with TikTok, but then you magnified it even more with me, and I tried to warn you off that shit so hard.
Yes, and you
please be anonymous, because you're gonna get selected for chief, and your chief season is gonna be a fucking dumpster fire.
And I was just like, I'm not afraid. I'm you know, and I'm the kind of person that'll say it to your face. Like I don't want to, because I mean, obviously, doing these types of things, anything that goes on the internet, you see these comments from people, these internet trolls, these keyboard warriors, right? I wanted to make it clear that I'm not one of those people who's just talking out of my ass because I'm protected by anonymity. Like, if I'm going to say it, I'm willing to say it.
Which I admire, but
yes, but still, both things can be true. It was. You definitely did warn me. You did. And I did not heed that warning as much as I should have. I did not truly, I was not prepared for the things that came after that, particularly when I did make chief and going through the season as like the girl from TikTok, or like that was actually how my like name, it wasn't my name, like was put out to the chief chat the day that the results came out. It was like this guy and this person, oh, and the TikTok star, like, because of course I got added to the chat later, and I'm like, really? Like,
you just scrolled up and we're like, what the fuck?
Of course, I got access. I've searched my name to see like what kind of stuff had come up before, you know. That was just
they probably don't even know you can do that. Like that's what's
I
so
mean,
funny.
we're all CTs. They know.
Okay, that's
They're
fair,
not dumb.
I guess.
Yeah.
But like, you know how like you give a kid a phone with like controls on it, and 5 seconds later they've already figured out how to get around everything, but you don't even know, and like it's like we're not smart enough for this shit.
But you know, I was, and I don't think that I've really ever addressed that and been honest about it in any public internet way, right? For different reasons. Like, so in the beginning, it was because I was still attached to the place that I faced all of that. And I was concerned about more, I don't want to say retaliation, but like just more energy coming my way. Like, I just didn't want to deal with it.
There's a really good argument for it being a reprisal, but like,
I don't know about like the legalities about like, because it's not protected communication. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But like, I just didn't want to deal with it. So I because I was still attached there, I just was like, it's not worth it. And then it just became, I just kind of let that fear, honestly, drive me for a long time, like drive me away. And I haven't really been honest. I've kind of skirted around it a little bit. Even when I was going through season, I had people like reaching out to me because I was so like quiet on TikTok, and they're like, oh, they forced her to quit or whatever. And I mean, I made false responses to be like, oh, it's not like that. Like, I tried to make it sound like it wasn't as bad as it was because I was worried it was only going to get worse. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And I think
I was hoping I was wrong that it was going to be as ugly as it was, but I had a pretty good feeling it was. Just the sense that I got from like you and Desiree and some others about what the CT community could be like sometimes. It was
and then
like,
specifically, people reached out to you about me during the season, right?
That's a fact.
And it came up a lot. It like I had to answer for it. I had to. Like DGUTS was like a bad word because they would be like, oh, well, DGUTS just told you and he doesn't know. And what I'm like, he didn't tell me shit. Like, he talked to me like a grown up. This whole time, it wasn't you. There is like, no secret playbook to handle someone.
But also, like, what do I not know about the Chiefs season, having run it for over a decade? Like,
about our community or our way.
But I thought it was all the same, Chief. I thought mission, vision, guiding principles are how we evaluate all of us. Like, it's such a cowardly little bitch move of an excuse, man.
And I don't understand because I don't agree. I don't know what the thinking is. But I faced a lot of heat during my season for all of my, I'll say, behavior, right? During my final night, I had to apologize to the mess at large because I had supposedly single-handedly done more harm to the credibility of Chiefs with my internet social media presence.
What fucking credibility?
Any bad Chiefs.
What credibility, bitch?
Like, right? I had to apologize for that.
Shut the fuck up. Them making you do that says much more about them than it does about you. Fucking cowards. Like, unfucking real, dude.
And it was really rough because I think I don't know, right? But like, particularly there that year for me, right? It was, I think it sucks for everybody, but it was awful. Like, my season was awful. And everyone's like, well, the next year, like, you'll understand more, right? And so like, then as a first year, I I was at all the things. I tried to be as present as possible.
You tried
Actually, I
so
was on
fucking
convalescent
hard.
leave for like a good chunk of it. So I was at everything.
You
I had
tried
nothing else
so
to do.
hard to understand. I remember having those conversations with you where you were
and I was just like,
diving into
this
everything.
is even worse. I hate this. Like it
You're
was
like, I want to understand so bad. I want to have my hands in everything that they'll
I was
allow me
still
to
so,
so that I can.
like,
and I'm
confused and upset, and like I wanted to be on your side. Like just
so did Desiree, and she's like, fuck this, I'm out.
And now
she got out of the Navy. Yeah, she made chief and then said, nope, fuck this shit. I don't want nothing to do with y'all.
Yeah. And we had like altogether we had like 60 people in my like class in the region, but from my command we had 4, and then we also had a Army Sergeant First Class join in. But of the 4 Navy people that made chief from my command that year, 2 of them got out. One had more than 16 plus years in.
Yeah. And then, so tell me again how you did more damage to the Chiefs mess than those fucking clowns did, because they chased 2 chiefs out of the fucking Navy because they were so dysfunctional and incompetent. So
also they chased 2 people out because they had pretty much made up their minds regardless before their names even came out.
Right. But why?
Because of
all
the history. Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But it, the statistics are there, right? In the Navy, we advanced to quotas. We advanced to vacancy. And particularly for some of the intel rates, that promotion rate can be real high. It's a little different now with like the senior list marketplace, whatever. But like, I think 2-3 years ago, one of the CTI groups was like 60 something %, right? Though that's chiefs leaving. Like that's, it's a lot. So I'll say I met good people. I made good relationships during season and after. I'm not saying that everyone that was, just there at the time sucked, but the process and my experience was awful.
Leadership and confidence
probably made me dislike chiefs more.
Right.
Than I did coming in. And like being inside, which was,
I think it just validated really everything. Like you had all the suspicions, but now you have evidence,
right?
Experiential and otherwise. Like now you're just like, oh, okay, thanks for proving that you're all fucking exactly what I thought you were.
Really depressing because I was like, okay, and now I'm here and I'm in it, and everyone says, well, you'll understand when you get there. Well, I'm here and I'm still right, and now I'm on this side of this perception. Like I don't like it, right? And so I had a really, really hard time. And I don't know if it's just because I was, too, if the goal was to break me, they succeeded, right? Like if I was just too broken from the process that I was unwilling to be open-minded in that location, maybe, or with those group of people, I'm not sure. But I pretty much committed that I was done with season. Like I was giving it my all in that like first year. I'll watch it.
Betrayed is what happened. Like you got betrayed by what was supposed to be the in-group for you, like what was supposed to be your community. And they spend the entire cycle preaching to you about the importance of this community and all the things that like are so valuable about this community and how badly you should want to be a part of it, instead of, like Desiree said, and I always give her credit for the statement, was like, they should be trying to earn our trust, not the other way around. And she's 100% right about that. But like,
I do think it goes both ways, but we don't do that, right?
Of course. But like all the chiefs in there theoretically trust each other already. And right. I know. That's why I said it that way. Theoretically, they should, but generally don't trust each other already. But so like the need to build trust is far more on the you side of the equation than it is them in theory. But or like that's what they say.
I think it's on everybody. Like just period. It's something we need to be building into human beings that end up as sailors, right? that it's part of your role, regardless of your pay grade, enlisted officer, whatever, that it is your part of your responsibility to elicit that from your organization, whether
But
that's your team or your division or whatever, right?
That's why I'm so hard up on the fundamental reorganization of our values, because it's like you go through the season and all you hear about is like Navy Chief, Navy Pride. And it's like, okay, how about like having more pride in the fact in like our identity as like caretakers of these sailors than in our fucking color of our uniform and our anchors and because it's like when you examine all of the like identitarian stuff, like all of like the anchors and the hat and the creed and all the things, it's
I've got all this crap.
It's very like, it's a very like ego stroking based thing. Like it's a very like self-congratulatory, self-aggrandizing structure. And it's like, so no wonder it's unfolded in the way that it has, and it's all about like, you should want to be one of us. And it's like, well,
like the value's not there until you get here,
right? And well, I don't, because you have created the culture that I don't want to be a part of, and why would I? And it's like, if you needed any more evidence, like go talk to Eddie Junior sailors about if they trust chiefs or not. And I bet you it's at like 99%+ of like, fuck no, I don't trust you. Why would I trust chiefs? Because all they have is evidence to the contrary. Like, and I know some people encounter good ones out there, but they don't only encounter one, right? So it's like, on an aggregate, you're probably going to have a negative experience almost always, because Sailor Timmy is maybe their chief is good, right? Or maybe they encounter a chief that mentors them that's good. But then every other fucking chief on that vessel is probably a negative interaction. That doesn't make them bad people. A lot of the times it just makes them people that were never trained or qualified to be leaders in the first place.
Well,
like I think so, good.
I think there's different things to it. Like, well, first I'll say, I do think it is getting better in the last couple of years.
Good.
Just in like the conversations that I've had, and even in my like just lurking on, Reddit still and stuff like that. I do think it is getting better as the generation is shifting.
Yeah. That which you would hope that would just
more
naturally
of people
occur,
like us, that like it is tending. I think it's getting better, and it's less, I had a terrible chief and I hate chiefs, and it's more like just nothing to say, maybe, or like kind of like, just I don't really know. I don't need to know. Yeah. Or like, or some positives, but like I don't think it's as bad.
Okay.
I definitely think we're going in the right direction, so I think there's that.
Okay.
But also, I one of the things that I had to like accept through this was that a lot of it has nothing to do, like isn't even in the control of these chiefs. Like my first year as a chief, I was a terrible chief because for like a lot of different reasons, like for the way that the command was set up, like I was geographically separated from my sailors, and there was a chief in their building and there was a division in my building, and we could have, but I was not
just
terribly
for
far, right?
Clarification for myself as I'm like listening to you, are you talking about like the stuff that the stuff being not in control of chiefs? Are you when you make that statement, are you thinking just of the CT community or like generally?
No, I imagine that it's probably similar for a lot of chiefs, right? Like, so I wasn't super, like I wasn't physically close to my sailors. It wasn't even like a drive. It was like a 20-minute walk through like multi-connected buildings, right? It wasn't like they could turn to me or I could turn to them if I needed something, right? And being in a separate like OpCon, AdCon, I had sailors doing different like missions than I was doing. I was in an elevator once, probably like 2-3 months after I became a div chief, and there was a guy in the elevator and he was one of my sailors. I had no idea who he was. He had his fleece on, so I couldn't see his name. But like at the end of the elevator ride, he said something to me and I was like, who are you? I had never seen this dude's face before because we worked different schedules. He couldn't go to quarters because he had like a mission thing. And because I also had my mission thing and they have like, I couldn't be available to them. And that's just basic like job and like chiefing. Well, then throw in command collaterals and like this even like, and I had said, right, one of the things that we teach during season is how to manage expectations up when you get tasked to say, hey, that's not reasonable, or let's change our timeline or whatever, right? And I was going to the C-cell, to the XL, and like, I can't do this, please somebody help me, it's too much for months. And finally something changed, but it wasn't necessarily for the better. Anyway, right? Like so many things that were just out of my control that I just sucked at all of it. Like I was a bad chief. I was bad in operations. I was bad at my collaterals because it was just too much. And then throw in the actual chiefing of like the things that were happening with sailors that it's wild. And I feel
that's
terrible
a huge part
I was
of it.
Bad chief.
Yeah, that's
and
a
I
huge
wanted
part
to
of it
not be
that no one talks about is like the last chief's tour I did on a submarine. So I was a senior chief when I showed up. This is my second chief's tour. Like this should be easy money. You know what I mean? And like, was I a lot better at it this time around? Yeah. But also showing up as a senior chief, it was like, I'm a department chief. I'm
right,
like
there's a new set of problems, just like we talked about.
Yeah, the assistant cobb, basically. Like I was doing all this other shit that I didn't anticipate and I hadn't done before, and took me away from my primary duty, to the point that first tour sailor that in his defense, I mean, he was fucking amazing, and had I not had him there, I would have failed. Maybe if I could have disentangled myself from all the extra shit they had me doing.
If your triad lets you.
Right. Well, I mean, I was at a place in my career where I would have just been like, I'm not fucking doing this. But because like, what are you going to do? Fire me? I was probably at my terminal pay grade anyway. Yeah, fucking fight me. But like, and it was something I would have done to protect him. But like, he was so great at his job and had such a high work capacity and just like was great at everything. Nothing was too much for him until it was. And I didn't even realize how badly I was like taking advantage of him, essentially. Yeah, I was leaning on him so hard that like he was doing my job, he was doing his job, he was standing watch. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And then one day he broke down and was like, I was like, oh boy, like I'm so fucking sorry. Like, because I was burning it at both ends too. I just was doing other shit, and I was on watch for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week too. So like, I mean, a lot of people don't talk about that. Like, no matter how competent you are, there's this added go fuck yourself, like monkey wrench of the demands of the mission and manning and all this other stuff, like, is such that, and I was being taken advantage of by my cobb, to be fair too. Like, I should have,
right, just like you leaned on that sailor and you broke him. Well, same goes, right?
He was leaning on me because he was fucking lazy, and he called it training me to be a cobb, but really he wanted to sit in the chief's quarters and eat fucking soft serve out of a cruise mess cup while he watched Game of Thrones fucking 5 times on one deployment. Like, and I'm talking like all 6 seasons or 7 seasons. Over and fucking over again.
Great use of taxpayer
and he would like take his buddy off the watch bill so he could hang out with him and eat ice cream and it's just like, fuck off, man. Yeah. And like has me doing a lot of his job for him, and so it was like I was being taken advantage of as well. But that's not an excuse. It's more of a, I didn't feel like I had a way out any more than he. My LPO felt like he had a way. It was not great. But yeah, I feel like that's, I certainly haven't spent enough time focused on that in the way that you just described it as a reason why chiefs fail, because it's a whopper of a reason. Like, it's one of those things I
definitely did not, I was not prepared for that. And I hadn't given enough credit for that before. Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember what the actual like question or line that got us to this path was. I think it was just like that there's just shitty chiefs out there doing, fucking up
so
about the perception and stuff. But like,
you said, you were talking about how it wasn't always those chiefs' fault that was for sucking, and it's like, and there's reasons for that, one of which is that that you just described about all of the shit you had to do and you couldn't keep up with any of it.
But it's, I do think it's getting better. Good. And I also learned like that it's not the same everywhere. And like I said, like I was pretty much sworn that like I was not going to do anything involved with season ever again, right? Because I was just so disgusted by it.
But as soon as you get somewhere with a squared away motivated CMC, you're going to be like, oh shit.
Well, and I PCS and I got to see season in another place somewhere else, and I was like, oh,
right.
Like, we definitely still had our room to grow, right?
Right.
But it was,
like, this is what it could be,
and better than what I had. And I was like, oh, so that's not because everyone's been telling me like, this is what we're supposed to do and this is the goal. I'm like, oh, but that's not necessarily true.
Right.
Like, okay, maybe I do want to be, and like it kind of relit my fire in a lot of ways, like not just for like season or chiefing, but like just that it's not as broken as I thought. It's not as fucked up as I thought. Like, and
well, it probably
even,
is, but there are anomalous occurrences of people getting enough of it right that you get to see the magic of it. And there is magic that can happen during the Chief season, during Final Night, during the White Hat Burial. There's all this stuff that if it was formalized and done correctly, and if the people running it had like a really great grasp and level of competence in like leadership topics and the things that they would need to understand for it to be like tied to training objectives and stuff, like then I think, I mean, there is a magic that can happen that is like, it's indescribable if done correctly. And I've seen it done correctly, and it wasn't just when I was running it, you know. I mean, I did my best to create that, and I think I accomplished it more often than not. But like there's just this, and that's why like when people were trying to get me to get on the bandwagon of just deleting the Chiefs season, I'm like I get why you feel that way, and at times I felt that way. However, there is a value to it that is hard to deny. If you get to experience those magical moments, you're just like, fuck, man. I don't know if I can accept deleting it because of the potential that exists there. I feel like we just need to unfuck ourselves and do it right, you know?
I think that's part of it, but I also worry that if you take it away and if there's nothing, then we're going to create something. We're going to have this like speakeasy underground process. I mean, that if there's nothing that they are doing,
that's true.
Well, we're going to make them do it.
Some death throes.
Unofficial, right? Like it would be like, so we have to have something because left to our own devices.
Right. And that's why
we can't be trusted.
You just slowly walk it towards a formalized course. And the first step would just be formalizing what we already have, and then you get more data, do it again, see what shakes out of it. But I think you also need a very robust mechanism for like monitoring and like provide, like everybody hot washes it at the end and sends that feedback up, and like so that you get a lot of information on what works, what doesn't, so that you can then kind of like update, course correct,
and grow,
you know, refine, whatever. But, but
that was like all that, like this, I don't know, the last few years there's been a lot of like growth and understanding and frustration, but it also got me like more interested and excited for like this. And I haven't been on here in a while, but we've talked about it plenty. And I'm like, I want to do this. I still have this, like, I want to contribute.
Right.
And like I said, there was still a lot of like concern and fear for a while.
Yeah.
But then it just feels like you can't not, right? Like it's, and
that's
especially
what got
now,
me in
like,
the game. It was just like, how do I not? Like,
and especially now, like being on a Flagstaff, I don't have sailors. I think I'm the most junior person in my like department,
right?
Maybe division. I don't know. It's also weird how we like break out the directorate department, whatever. But like it's all chiefs and officers, and like I don't get to do the regular just like conversation stuff. And like I do these kind of conversations like with the chiefs and stuff, but it's not the same, and it makes me sad, and I miss it, and and I want to not just give. I don't want to be like I'm, you know, the anchor gift to the internet, right? That's not it. It's I know that I was the person that needed something, and I want to be available to be there to respond, but also to learn. I want to get things from sailors. I want to.
I learned more from doing this for 10 years than I ever learned from any chief in the Navy. Like,
I believe that 1,000%.
And I learned a lot from really amazing people. Like Eric Antoine was my cop on Jimmy Carter and still a friend to this day, and just fucking incredible, like, wealth of knowledge and experience, and is the reason I was the chief that I was. But like, I got to talk to so many people when I started doing interviews, and the interactions that I had on all the things like Reddit, Discord, fucking Instagram, all the, like the emails I would get, dude. I still have emails hanging all over the walls. I have them in my charge book. I have like shit everywhere. And I've saved a bunch in the actual Gmail still that I need to print out. But and that was why I got into it too. Exactly what you just described. Like, I wanted to provide what I didn't have coming up. And here we go.
I talked to a few people as I was like thinking through that, right? Because you'd reached out and you're like, hey, would you be interested? And at first I was like, give me some time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is
I thought you were gonna tell me to fuck off, to be honest.
No, really?
We're like, you want me to be the
DGUTS, right?
Like, yeah. Like,
and but I was just like, I need to think about it, because my initial response was, oh my God, no.
Yeah, like, that's what I thought I was gonna get. Like, oh my God, no. I don't want that smoke. Like, no. I'm still in the Navy.
Well, so also I did not mention this before, but like, not to mention just like the like unofficial shit that I dealt with through my season. It also cost me orders.
Yeah.
Right. I've never like said that out loud. Right. I was screened to go do a thing, and then I got a call to say, due to your past social media presence, we're unwilling to take you.
You would have been so good. Like, you're exactly the person that should have had that job too. Like, I just fucking can't with how brain dead the logic is,
and
because they're more worried about how shit looks than the actual work product and how it would benefit sailors. They're like, nope, sorry, worried about optics.
Yeah, and
fucking clowns.
I don't know if I should even say this or not, but I feel like we've said enough that people are gonna be like, what is it for? It was to go teach at NLEC. And
you would have been perfect.
And I would have loved it.
Yep.
And I think it would have been great. But
like,
and it came out because you have to like interview and screen. And I did the interview, and it didn't come up because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Right?
That has nothing to do. I wasn't active online.
Process.
I wasn't active in social media. I wasn't doing the things. It wasn't like I was full time doing this all the time. Like, there was no reason to bring it up.
Right.
And so like I go through the screening and everything's great, and I got orders posting and like going, and then I get a call and it was like, hey, this was brought to our attention, and we're not, due to your past social media presence, we're unwilling to have you. Why didn't you bring it up? And I was like, because it has nothing to do with me. We interviewed. Like, this isn't my
if I went to mass
blip
15
on the
years
internet.
Ago, would it matter? Like,
and I get that it wasn't 15 years ago.
Well,
it was
whatever.
Within the last couple years
at all.
But it's like, this was also such a blip on the radar of my career and my life and my experience. And so no, I wasn't trying to hide it. It just wasn't relevant to me. But it was big enough to keep me from an opportunity. And I mean, I think everything works out for a reason. So
sure. I agree. But
I'm okay with it now. But I was so hurt because it was, I'm sure there's a lot of things that I could have done better, but I have no regrets.
But that's how you learn.
Like, I have no regrets about the choices that I have made.
Right.
And I don't think it's fair that we, and I say we chiefs, we the Navy, we do punish people for behavior that's not just cookie cutter. And that if you don't just strictly shut up in color, that you're a risk or you're a problem child. Or and it's like, no, we need to be rewarding innovation and curiosity. And so it was really devastating. So I'm like, how can I, all I'm trying to do is be true to myself. And that cost me opportunity because I'm being real. So do I have to be fake in order to be, right? And like, it was,
that's the sad truth of it. It's like, you got to toe the party line to get those fucking jobs, apparently, because like, dude, it's like, the thing that you and I talked about it as it was happening on the phone a bunch. And what I recall from it that disgusted me the most was, so they don't select you because of the thing that you posted on social media, which you were objectively correct about, like all of it. I read it. You were right about everything. there's an argument for it being unprofessional because you were an E6, I guess.
It was a little spicy.
Whatever. It was
one
all
of my
true,
favorite
though.
quotes that Chiefs were too busy with their heads too far up the metaphorical goat's ass to care about sailors.
But it's true. So yeah, like you were right, but also I kind of get why there was a little bit of a backlash at the time, right?
Right.
But also, it's such a fucking teachable moment that you could have gotten all the goddamn mileage out of in that role, and you weren't allowed to do it. Like sailors could have benefited from your experiences in those types of situations in a way that like most people that make it to those kind of jobs like don't even have those kinds of stories, you know. And it's just like, and it's like I think like Christina D'Arienzo, same thing. Like she was getting death threats, people were telling her to kill herself. Like think about her at like as a senior enlisted academy facilitator or as an NLIC ELD facilitator. Like that's the person you want in that job, dude. Like because they've been through some shit and they have so many things to teach you. And it's just like, and I mean, I'd fucking lay down in traffic for that woman. So like, whatever. Like she's just such a dope human.
It's not just like what our experiences could contribute, but it gives us a little more trust.
Yeah, a little more street cred.
We're honest. Yeah, like, so I have found that sailors talk to me more and are more honest, right? If I post this mistake, quote unquote mistake on the screen, like, hey, look at this big fuck up I had, according to the Navy, or like, you know, this was a choice I made.
100%.
Instead of trying to walk around
on this.
like, but just like we've talked about, like the concept, people think that, you know, chiefs are born wearing khakis and like that you sleep in them or whatever. Like
I like that's you ever seen Saving Private Ryan where they're talking about Tom Hanks's character and they were like he was assembled from spare parts of dead GIs at the officer academy.
No, I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard you say come from spare parts.
I fucking love that quote, and that's what I always use as an analogy because I just think it's so accurate.
That's not true. Like, and we can't pretend that that's true because if we want to raise sailors up to get here and to get where, like, you don't just pretend that never happened. Anywho, all that to say, my whole point being, I was concerned to jump into it. Even my mom was like, "Do you think this is a good idea?" And
sorry, Mom.
But I think a big part of it is my attitude has changed.
Yeah.
Because when I first got involved with the podcast, I was the person in need. I was not to say that I've got my shit figured out and I don't need mentorship and help, but I was frustrated. I was angry. I was going to you to say, "Hey, Chief, help me." And I got that back. It was my role to give the problem and get help. And now in this dynamic, like this is not my role is not to bitch all the time. My role is to be contributing to the solution and to be a sounding board or whatever, right? Give advice or experience or whatever, right? It's my job to be the positive but honest, right, and real person. It's not just my position to just bitch anymore, right? And knowing that, I think, is a big deal. So I don't think I'm going to get as much backlash because I'm not going to be as, you know, violently angry and explosive. And also I got a lot of it out of my system. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, it's maturation and experience and learning new things and so I guess I'm next, huh? Why has Will slowed down?
That might be, I think, the first time you've said your name on here.
Probably. My name's William, by the way.
Nice to meet you. As
I'm punching out here.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're eagle-eyed, my last name is right there on some Velcro patches.
That's actually, I found out your name before you ever told me.
Yeah, I know you because of something stalked me, you little hacker.
Yeah.
You were like immediately like, I said something
I saw
about
something with your last name, and then I was like,
it wasn't hard to figure. Like I was
like, go find nav admins from the CSS chief like selection around this year.
Board.
Like
that was so easy.
And that's how I got. It was super.
I wasn't
easy,
a master chief at the time, so it was like
I got the
one
nav
name.
admin when you made chief. That was how I figured out which one was you.
Yep. It was
it was not hard.
It wasn't that hard. If you listen to all the podcasts back then, like,
there's enough information.
I wasn't hiding that hard. It was symbolic more than anything. I wasn't worried about people figuring out who I was that much. But
do you prefer William? I actually don't know if I've ever asked you that.
So yes, but gave up a long time ago trying to convince people otherwise. So like I introduce myself, or like if I write my name down, it's William. My mother named me William. That's my name. It's not Will. It's not Bill. It's not. I'm gonna
change this in my phone right now.
Hey,
just
whatever.
for context.
But like also I don't if you call me Bill or some other,
I won't ever call you Bill. I would.
Well, like people just assume that because it's a thing people do for some reason that is inexplicable to me, but like it just makes no sense. So I just change.
It's like a John and Jack thing. It's so
like
weird
I'm just completely change your name for short. Like no, fuck off.
Yeah.
And but like the reason why there's a like childhood reason why ever since I was a kid, I would like start fights in school when people would call me Bill because my maternal grandfather, I was named after him, and he called me Big Bill because I was a big baby, and he had I forget the exact medical condition, but he had a medical condition where it started in his legs. He had to have both legs amputated. He was in a wheelchair. It ended up killing him.
I'm so sorry.
When I was like 3, but like he would sit me on his lap in his wheelchair, and he like obviously had a little bit of a what would the word be, like I don't want to call myself like his favorite grandchild, but I was named after him, so there's like whatever that is.
It was just a connection.
Like, there's a connection there, that
soul connection there. Yeah.
And so he would stand me up on his lap and he'd grab my legs. He goes, "Look at these big, strong legs." And he would like he was the one that called me Big Bill. And so like when I learned that and he was gone, and I don't really have any memory of him, like I've seen pictures and stuff, but I was so little when he passed, that it meant a lot to me when my mom told me those stories. So like I'd go into kindergarten or whatever, 3rd grade, I probably can't remember kindergarten, but like 3rd grade, 2nd grade, whatever. And they'd have like the name tags on the desk, and mine would say Bill, and I'm like, this isn't my fucking name.
It's reserved for him.
Yeah,
only him.
Nobody gets to call me that.
Yeah.
And so like I would get like real pissed when I was a kid. I had a really volcanic temper when I was a kid too. I had to learn how to.
Oh, I never would have guessed.
Yeah, I know, right? Who would have thought I got a bit of an Irish temper. But yeah, so that that's why. But anyway, I don't even know that I know the answer to why I have arrived at this decision, but I'm very at peace with it. Like there's no, I will probably get back into podcasting generally in some form. I have an idea slowly forming in my mind, because it's not like I've stopped desiring, like I'm still me, and I still have a lot to say about a lot of things. And I think it's going to be some weird, like amalgamation of topics that is kind of like, what I've noticed is not a lot of people process the world the way that I do. They exist. You're one of them. But like, I hear people talk about things that I care about or I'm interested in, and they miss so many different perspectives. And I feel like I have a unique ability to see things from multiple sides and see the complexities and the nuances and be able to be like entertain both sides of it and try to
fill gaps that the majority is not putting out there.
Think critically about it and be charitable to the people that they believe are the enemy too. So right, when you like, the easy example is the left and right politically in the United States, right? Like the ideological like brainwashing that happens where a person is just like, well, you're not on my team, so you must be evil, like to the point where you've got idiots like vandalizing Teslas because Elon Musk is on trial. It's like, fucking, what the fuck is this? And there's so much stuff that happens that, and I don't really want it to be a political thing. I just want it to be like my philosophy on some things, but
human
I haven't
understanding,
like human
of
psychology and like,
I think a little sociology maybe too.
Philosophy. So maybe like social psychology.
Humanology, is that a real word already?
I don't think so, but it could be.
We should coin it.
I mean, everything's a fucking word once you say it, and
especially
they put it in
ology.
So much stupid shit in the dictionary now, but like, But yeah, so like you'll see something. It'll be called fucklosophy because fuck is my favorite word, and it's kind of like philosophy on the world. So I already have a logo and everything because
I'm glad that is the choice.
There. Yeah,
you told me that before, and I was like, I love it. I don't care what the topic. Like, I don't even know what the genre is, ever. But I'm in it. Like,
I don't know why, and no one's using it for anything that I could find. I searched like social media platforms and stuff and podcasts just to see if I.
This username is available.
I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to be copying people, but like straight up. Well, it's like. It's fucklosophy, but the U is an X because it's the word fuck. And so I feel like it'll get censored a lot or I might get banned or something. So anyway, not really the point. So I'll be back in it at some point when I figure out exactly how I want to go about doing what I want to do. But for me, with this, it was like a lot of it was so like at the end of my military career, I've told the story a bunch, physical and mental health stuff, like I was a dumpster fire and it didn't stop when I retired. And I struggled with my mental health. I mean, really up until present day. Like I just came out of like a pretty bad depressive episode. I'm back in therapy now.
Oh, yay.
Paying out of my own pocket because the VA is fucking dog shit at everything.
Sorry for that part.
It's fine. But like, it's just frustrating.
You're having a hard time like finding someone. So like fact that
I tried to use my insurance. Yeah, I tried to use my insurance too, and they kept referring me to places that either didn't have availability, which is what the VA did too. Yeah. They refer me somewhere that didn't have availability.
Too. Huh? Yeah, that's happened to me with TRICARE.
Right, and well, that's what my retired insurance is essentially TRICARE. It's not like
VA
the same,
but yeah.
But like, and I'm sorry, my light is doing something weird. It keeps changing brightnesses randomly,
You're
so
glowing.
I apologize. Yeah, I'm an angel. Not really. So I'm back in therapy now. It's all the lady I'm using the BetterHelp thing, and it's like the lady I have is fucking incredible, and it's been great. I've been doing it for about 3 weeks, and it's helped a ton. I'm back at the gym, which is I'm sleeping better. Like I'm doing a lot better, but I'm only 2 weeks into doing a lot better. So it's like I'm hoping I can maintain this trajectory, which is why I'm not non-committal about anything else. But like I kept trying to get back into doing the podcast thing while I was not great, you know, like I described it as kind of like a waveform where it was like, sometimes I'd be doing pretty okay. Sometimes I'd be a shit show, but like it was never sustainable. And so I would keep trying to, I did want to do it, but I kept trying to do it without addressing all the things that I knew I needed to address, because one of the revelations from therapy, because this therapist is so amazing, is I am a problem solver. I fix shit. That's how my brain works. I was approaching my physical and mental health issues as a problem to fix, with the idea being fixing it would be me back at 100%, whatever that means. Like in my mind, that probably meant like when I'm 30 something and I like my brother and niece is getting murdered, brain cancer, panic attacks and anxiety disorder and all the other shit.
Yeah.
But that's not real. And I can't go back in time. And the way she framed it was, it was like there's these denials that people have, they're effectively coping or defense mechanisms rather. But it's really like you're in denial about a thing because you need to be able to survive and be like lead a productive life. And a lot of that got stripped away from all my experiences, right? And approaching it as a problem instead of as a thing that's just going to exist with me for the rest of my life, and that I need to just do the fucking work. I don't know why I couldn't throw that switch, but I couldn't. And when she explained it to me as, look, this is like, you are where you are, and these things that you're confronting, like that hole in your life where your brother and 2 nieces, they're gone forever. That experience is going to be with you forever. It's never going to go away, and it's always going to haunt you. So what do we do about that? You know, like, but it's not a problem to solve. It's like, think about it like through the lens of like a substance abuse disorder. It's like, you just got to do the fucking work every goddamn day. And she described mental health as a part-time job, and you got to just do the things that you know work and grind it out and take the little wins a little bit at a time every day. And the goal is slightly less shitty. And when she described it that way, I was just like,
I like that.
fuck? Like no one had ever.
That's a good goal.
Nobody had ever explained it that way.
A little less shitty. Like I like that.
Every day the goal is a little less shitty, and that with the understanding that you're never gonna be fixed. There's no problem to solve. You're just doing maintenance, and it's shit you got to do every fucking day forever. And that's life. And I was able to just really easily equate it to all my cancer shit, because like I'm good now. I mean, I'm 6.5 years post-cancer, effectively cured in the eyes of medical professionals. But because of the treatment modalities used, I have a whole bunch of secondary issues that'll be just with me forever. Like,
right.
And I looked at it like there's shit I got to do every day to address those things so that my quality of life isn't terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, well, guess what fucking my mental health is? And I was able to just like, which it sounds so stupid and like, how the fuck did you not get there on your own? Like, I realize how it sounds when I say it, but it's because she didn't tell me anything that I shouldn't have or didn't already know. But for some reason, and this has happened multiple times in therapy, where it's like I just needed to hear it from this person.
It's different to get it from a professional, because when you know you're broken,
too,
and your brain says something like, well, how can I trust myself? Because clearly I'm fucked up. So like, maybe this isn't the best way. Maybe this isn't like, that can't make sense. You don't trust yourself as much. And
that was a huge problem for me. Like when I was at the beginning, so it wasn't, I was 6 months into therapy and doing really well when my brother and the girls happened. And after that happened, it was like, what's the fucking point? You know, like everything is fucking bullshit. Nothing matters. What's even the point? Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And I got into this like loop of like, I got into this place where I didn't trust myself to make decisions either.
Yeah.
And that was something, because a big part of it was I was having panic attacks and couldn't control my emotions generally. And I had never not been in control of myself like that ever in my life. And I was almost 40. And I'm just like, it shook me hard that
I can imagine
that's possible.
I'm just amazed that you got that far in life. Is that normal? I don't know. Like,
I don't know. But it scared the shit out of me. And so it took time to get through that and all the things. And I'm still getting through it. Like, that's the point is I knew I needed to work on my physical and mental health. I said it a bunch of times. I never really committed to it until recently. And so that's a big part of why I failed for the last 3 years, essentially, at being consistent, at doing the things I said I was going to do, at all the shit. Like, I kept coming up with new ideas, and I really did want to do them, and they were sincere. I did want to do all the leader, or what did I call it? The theory to practice stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I really did want to do big research projects. I wanted to do almost like a big, like, investigative journalism style expose on military mental health. Like, I wanted to do all kinds of stuff, but like, I still to this day don't have the juice for that. I barely have the juice to be a functional adult. So like, I got a lot of work to do. So that was why that was the slowdown. That was the absences, like kind of not being interested in doing it. Because I kind of couldn't. Like, it was like the loss of interest in doing things that you want to do, kind of depressive symptoms.
Like, you got to put your own oxygen mask on first, kind of a deal. And like, and not only
my therapist used that line the other day.
Put that on someone else, right? Doing stuff like this, you're not just handing over the mask. Like, you're now functioning and doing the things and like flowing. You're giving way more, and you have to have yourself at a decent level for that.
And I don't even know how I got 10 years into this shit without it happening earlier, to be perfectly honest. I mean, there was, times I was barely sleeping, but I was still recording podcasts. So I don't know how that happened. But as far as me deciding I was done, it was kind of, the more distance I have got between me and retirement, the less and less interest I have in being kind of, involved in anything Navy, like I don't know how to explain it. It's not like I don't still love sailors, and I'll always be here to help in any way that I can, especially for you, like that. And that's something that I want the listeners to know is like, Arianna will have unfettered access to me forever. I will always, like, if she wants me to come on and do a graybeard thing where I like am just dropping in to do a spot, I will do it. Like, you'll see me again, I'm sure, but
Oh, for sure.
As just a contributor, as just somebody like do it. And maybe I'll get to a point where I do some of the things I said I was going to do and I just give them to Arianna to publish. I don't know. But like I got to a place where I'm so separated from it in the sense of like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not plugged into it. I've deleted social media off my phone. Like, the only real access I had was talking to people through the podcast platform and social media.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like a good connection. It felt like I was getting a biased perspective anyway. And also, like, I kind of just didn't want to be paying attention to it or consuming it anymore. Like, I just felt like that part was done. I kind of wanted to, like, close the book and move on. So there was that feeling of, like, just wanting to detach from it to a degree. And then also just, like I told you when we talked, I never thought I'd arrive at a place where I felt like I'd done enough. But I kind of have, where I'm just like, and part of it was I felt like what I was saying and doing was getting repetitive. Because I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years. Like, how the fuck much can you say like about all this stuff? And
when you're not doing, like, when you're not chiefing every day to get the new experiences and not just what's up to date in the policies, but
that's like a big part of it too.
Stuff to
I'm not in
like,
it.
Hey, this
anymore,
happened today.
So
like
very difficult to do the same thing that I was doing before, which is why I mean that necessitated the trying to shift to the theory to practice model anyway.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to get contributors like you and like Ray and a bunch of other people to do the shit I couldn't do anymore. And we'll get to that later about the still wanting it
hopes
to
and
be
dreams and future goals.
Yep.
But
yeah, it was more like I just kind of was like, I don't know.
You
I just woke up one day and I was like, I think I'm done. Like, I think
that's actually really good and healthy, because that's, and I hate to like always bring it back to like chief season shit, but that's like fine. It's
we're in the appropriate
it's kind of the point, right? Is like we train our relief,
right?
And if you don't, you're doing it wrong,
and it feels a little poetic, doesn't it? Like I kind of like, I never wanted it to end, but I knew I wasn't going to do it forever. So it's kind of like,
but if you get to a point that you feel like, well, I've done my part and I did, it's because you did a good job. And then you're supposed to pass the torch. You can't do it forever. You shouldn't do it forever.
Right.
And I don't mean the pod, I'm talking about anything, right? You're supposed to be like pouring in to feed these new seeds, and that's what our job is. And I think it's okay to say like, oh, like, fly birdie, right? Like, here you go. And now I'm gonna go on my next journey.
What occurred to me,
that's okay.
When I arrived at the conclusion of I'm done, I was like, I mean, how am I going to do that? I don't want it to be unavailable. So I was like, I'll leave the podcasts up. I'll leave the YouTube channel up, and then I'll probably just shutter everything else. But then I thought about it and I'm like, I wonder if anybody would want to do it in my place, because of the value that it has added. I was like, and like you were I thought about it for like 5 seconds and I was like, it's gotta be Arianna. Like, it's like, I didn't even consider anyone else really. Like, I mean, there are other people that I'm sure are capable of doing something like this, obviously. But as far as for like me being at peace with turning it over, I'm like, it's gotta be Arianna. It's like, that's the only person that can do it. And so then I thought, but I anticipated you saying no, because I've
been absolutely MIA. For
well,
2
and also
years.
you went through it as you described because of the episodes you did for me, and also the TikTok presence. But and I think that like there's also a component too that and this has nothing to do with choosing you, but it's just like a fortunate side effect. Is you are significantly younger than me. You're earlier in your career. You understand things I don't understand. You will be able to leverage like TikTok and some other shit. Cause like, I don't fucking get it, man. I think it's stupid. I'm an old guy. Like, I watch TikTok. I just
had this conversation with my brother the other day.
He
was sending me stuff from Twitter. And I was like, dude, get on TikTok.
For real. Like,
the amount of information that you will have, because the people are there. If you're just
my wife
if you're
loves it.
looking at
She's
stuff,
always on it,
trying
but
to find something, the
you know how long?
investigative, like digital forensics of teenagers and young adults that will find information for you.
And my nephew educated
crazy.
me on that part of it, because I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of slop, just stupid people dancing to bad music.
Nope.
And my nephew's like, no, it's not. And he like showed me his
whole
feed.
nother world.
Yep. And I was like, oh, okay. This light is tweaking. Sorry. I'm just bothering me now. The brightness level or whatever, and see if I can get it to chill out. It like
the khaki Santa hat behind you. Sorry,
it is
ADHD brain.
It is.
That's
I got
hilarious.
it on Etsy. You want to see?
Nice. I was looking for a khaki cowboy hat for the last.
God. They exist.
I know they do.
A bunch of guys. It's got like the Garrison Cat cover thing on it, and like cute. I got it. Some lady on Etsy made them, and then I brought it underway for Christmas that I knew we were going to be underway to wear in the galley, because I was always in the galley for special meals because I was the one that knew the most, so we would throw down on those days. And I was wearing it in there for that, or I might have wore it for something else, and my Cobb saw it and he goes, "Where the fuck did you get that?" And I was like, God, this light is on. Maybe
I saw a picture of someone.
Does that look terrible? How bad is that? It's pretty.
It's
pretty
not
bad,
great.
Right? It's not great.
I would prefer the brighter light. I think it's better for you.
Turn it up more, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
fucking know.
Yeah.
But it,
I saw
and then
a khaki
his wife
cowboy hat, and I was like, "Oh my god, I want one for the khaki ball."
There's hard. They make hard hats too.
It was gonna be like $400 and take a month to make and ship, and I was like, "No,
those things they're expensive.
I can DIY this with like a Amazon thing next year if I want to."
Yeah,
but
and I bought it from some lady on Etsy, and then my Cobb's wife was like, she was very competent at sewing and stuff, so she made a bunch of them for all the.
That's
other
awesome. Sorry, you just when you moved, I saw it and I just got distracted. Squirrel brain.
No worries. Yeah. But yeah, so like I forget, what were we talking about? You glitched me. You hard reset my brain with the hat thing. Where did I leave off here?
5 seconds, and you decided it was going to be me. And
so or you decided. I think I was talking about we were on TikTok, and so like the fortunate side effect of you being you, and so like there's just stuff that. Like one, I always, and I guess we can talk about it a little bit now. Like the idea of, I always wanted to be like Proceedings Magazine. Like I wanted to turn it into like a submission platform, which I should have put like a Dropbox on the website or something. But like, just so that I want it to be like something
living, breathing, growing,
like a living document that has multiple perspectives, where it's like people can. Like if people out there listening have something to say about a thing, record a fucking podcast and just send it in. You can be completely anonymous. You can do a limited series. You can do a recurring series like Trey did with the Corman stuff, or Desiree did with Seeds of Triumph, or whatever. You can do whatever. Like, I mean, like the Navy News show that got pitched to me by some people, I was really excited about. It just never came to fruition because active duty people are busy as fuck, it turns out.
Yeah,
but like
I'm gonna try and include a lot of more updates of stuff too, if we can have, because I should ask whoever the other person was if they do want to do, because I think it was like her or me or whatever. I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I might as well do both, but I'm not gonna call it something different. I don't know.
It was Ray's idea, I believe. I'm almost positive it was Ray's idea, and then I had somebody else. Was I talking to you about doing it after the fact? Yes. And then Ray said it was cool. Okay, so then you were gonna take it maybe, and then it didn't. I don't know. Yeah. Like it just never panned out. But it's like, and I get it. Like people are so and Ray's got a grip of kids, and she was drowning. She went to Millington to be a detailer and was drowning there for the first year. Finally got her feet under. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of, she's got a lot going on.
Yeah, and I get it. It's hard to ask someone to kind of commit to that, especially if they don't know what that looks like, and what, and even I'm still not sure like what kind of time commitment this is going to take, because it takes whatever you need it to take, and that's how that works. Like I put way more time into it than a normal person probably would, because I don't have any fucking kids, and I was single for some of it, and then my wife, when we met, we were long distance, so I was functionally still just by myself. Had all my time it was just work, the gym, and then podcast stuff. Yeah.
And then when I got back here and my wife and I were together, it was like I'd record them in the car on the way home. Like you can hear that in the fucking podcast from like 7-8 years ago.
Yep.
But I prioritized it because I thought it was important, but also
I'm grateful for that, right? Like, cause
but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be, and it doesn't need to be weekly. It can be like fucking monthly if you need it to be.
It could be one thing of like.
Yeah. Well, I'm even talking about you. It's like you're a single mom. You've got a fucking job you got to do. Like you got all this shit. It's like. So like, you just do it when you can do it. Like it's a part-time voluntary gig. You're not getting paid for it. So it's like, it's a passion project. Yeah. So like, it doesn't need to be like
it's not a collateral that you have to turn in your monthly or quarterly reports. Like
nobody's going to come screeching at you if you don't drop an episode every week, unless you try to turn it into a business like my dumbass did. But like, anyway, I'm very excited for it to be changing in this way because I feel like I've said all I have to say really, and a lot of it did become repetitive because I'm me and I have my positions and opinions on things, and I've had nothing but time and ability to express them, not just on this platform, but like been on not part of the problem. Jesus, that's a podcast I listen to. The Permission to Speak Freely. In my defense, that they both start with a P, and I'm tired. But I've been on, like Permission to Speak Freely a bunch of times. There's reason. It's the gym stuff and I'm broken. But like anyway, totally I feel like I was in a car accident. Like that's why I plunged before we did this, because it woke me up a little bit and it made my body feel significantly better. But yeah, I've been back at the gym and my body is angry at me for it. But yeah, it's like on other platforms I've gone, like I went on Teresa Carpenter's. I've been on a bunch of other shows saying the same shit. So it's like, I've had all these opportunities to do all those things. And so it's just like, I feel like it's all out there. It exists still. You can still start at episode 1. God help you. It's rough at the beginning. Let me tell the audio quality, especially, but yeah, it's like, I just feel like the opus is complete and it's time to move on and do a different thing. And also, even more importantly, get different voices, different experiences, different contexts on here saying different things. And I think what you were worried about to me is an asset, that you're like, well, will my CT career experience and lessons learned translate to the rest of the Navy? And it's like, I was a submariner. That is a real
concern. Like
I was a submariner the whole fucking time, and it translated to everybody else, man. And I have a shitload of
0 days at sea, man. 0.
Yeah, shitload of CTs following me. A lot of like green side sailors, a lot of like I've had naval special warfare techs, like just all kinds of guys. I've had a bunch of EOD guys like that have nothing in common with my career arc, but the connection is in the way that you're interpreting and understanding and analyzing leadership and how it should be done, and the types of lessons.
And I think what it really comes down to is just the baseline of like the give a shit factor.
Yep.
And that transcends.
Like it does. It really does.
It's, we were talking about how similar we are, but we're also so different. Like you did submarine stuff. I have never been on sea duty, not 0 days at sea, right? Like I'm a woman. That's different.
But also an asset, because I've never been a woman.
That's what I'm saying. It can, like all these things that are feeding into it. And especially if we are able to get more people and again, to this contribution of something big would be beautiful, I think.
I do
and
too.
You definitely eased my concerns, because I'm still a little concerned.
But also you still have access to me. You still have access to all the people I know. Yeah.
And I'm also not afraid to put it out too, and be like, hey, here's a thing I don't know. Like, who wants to help talk to me about it, even if it's not.
But you have my whole Rolodex at your disposal too. Like Paul Kingsbury will come on at the drop of a hat. Like Russ Smith had a great time on the podcast. Like I'm sure he would be willing to come back. He's a great dude. Like I was so like happy that he was who I thought he was. Like he's such an awesome dude. I've heard some people talk shit about him, and I'm just like, I
don't think that
he's a pretty
probably
awesome
talk to
dude.
him if they have anything to say, like, because him and I have talked, like we've talked on the phone before. And like so much shit he just did
spoke to his character to me. Like him changing the social media to the office of the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy when he was the interim and maintaining it the whole time was very telling. Christina, when her whole
I remember
WAP
that
thing went viral, he called her and all he asked her was, are you okay? What do you need from me? That was it. No, like, you're in fucking trouble, I'm disappointed dad talk, none of that shit. All he cared about was, are you okay? What do you need from me? And I was like, he's a fucking good dude for whatever human flaws he may have. Like, I don't give a fuck. I like him. I'd fucking lay down in traffic for him too. He's a fucking awesome dude.
Yeah.
But
there's so many good people out there.
You have my entire Rolodex at your disposal too. So it's like, it's not like you're doing this you're flying solo, you're doing this completely on your own and you don't have anybody to like, lean on or help or whatever. So like, you have access to all the things.
I think a little bit of fear is healthy, right?
It is.
I don't want to be like overconfident, cocky,
I was
whatever.
Scared
like,
shitless when I started.
I want to do a good job. I want to do good for sailors or whatever people that are listening to this, right? Like, because as we always go back to, they deserve it, So
they're entitled to it.
Yes,
that's the way I've said it throughout my career, and it always irks people, but they've never argued with me about it. I'm like,
how can you possibly argue with it?
Absolutely entitled to it. They don't need to earn shit. As soon as they put a Navy ball cap on, like, I don't want to fucking hear it. They've earned the only thing that they need to earn for them to be entitled to the best possible leadership you have in you. So
sorry, I'm just looking at this list again.
I am too. What are we on to next here? What's next for each of us? So, like, let's get into your.
Well, what first you want to ask you, just because I was thinking about it earlier about when we last spoke officially. I'm talking when we did that podcast a couple years ago. You had said something about you were bouncing around an idea of writing a book. Did that?
Oh yeah.
Did that dream go somewhere? Did it?
No.
Where's the status of that?
Because I have this theory of there are things that I want to do, and it's like, I'm a researcher, so like I want to like go look into it all, but then there's certain things that I feel like just too much exposure makes me, it puts like expectations that may or may not be real on what the product should or can or whatever be. Like, I've read so many leadership books and studied it for so long that when I sat down to try to like lay out an outline, I found it extremely difficult because I'm repulsed by the books that try to create new terms or couch things in their own lingo or create fucking stupid acronyms or whatever.
Yeah.
And
it's really not that hard.
Yeah, because it's like you're trying to brand leadership, like you're trying to trademark
basic human decency.
Like a unique leadership philosophy or something. And so like I didn't want to do that. But I also have this thing where I'm like, I don't know that it could fit in a book. All the things I want to say could fit in one book.
Yeah.
So I more like, what do I do first, or how do I do it, or what do I want? So like,
that's fair. I was just curious.
It's still on my life's to-do list. And I started writing a fictional book. We don't need to get into what that's. Well, I'll tell you what it's about later. I don't want to.
Don't want to spoil it until it's time. That's okay.
It has.
And you don't want someone to steal it.
Well, that's, I guess.
Now,
I mean, it's not so original that like someone else couldn't parallel think their way into the same shit, but it's, I'll explain it to you offline. But it's, I started doing that, and that's something I want to spend some more time on, but it's been sitting, I haven't touched it in months just for all the reasons I've explained before.
Yes, as life does.
But do you want to move on to like the goals for the future?
Yes.
Stuff?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
So I have this, my little brain organization notes here is what we're referring to.
We have like a shared notes thing open. Yeah. She created that. We're using
because I was just thinking earlier, and I just put it all out. Yep. I'm like, I'm going to make like a little outline for later. And then I looked at it and I was like, this is really,
how many times I've done this?
It's necessary. Yeah.
Dude, I have so many lists like this of like DGUTS ideas. I have a whiteboard on the wall over here. I have like a bunch of steno pads floating around. Like,
Same.
I've done this so many times.
Too much of this.
Yeah.
I need a better That's actually a thing I want to do. Is I was thinking about it in the shower earlier. I couldn't do it, but I want to find if anybody knows, please let me know. So there's way smarter people out there than me.
100%.
If there is a way to get some AI to ingest all of my notes apps or notes in my notes app and categorize all of them into like things to do, ideas, grocery lists. If it's older than this, just fucking delete it. If it's a grocery list, like if it's older than 2 months old, I've gotten it, I promise. Or I don't need it anymore or whatever. Right. I want it to suck in. I have like 729 notes in my notes app.
I wonder how many I have.
And
how do you know how I have?
You gotta go to like the back one to the folder.
Okay. It's a lot.
If you hit this arrow at the top,
deleted a note out of my life.
Yeah,
like I have a lot.
It's
not as many as you though.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot.
But that's because I'm fucking old and I use paper and shit. But
I also have part of like if you see these like buckets of things, these are all notebooks I have to sort through since I moved.
Yeah,
like, I'm constantly writing, and also with pencils, I prefer a number 2 pencil always.
Oh, all right.
Anyway.
Like these pens, where they
I dump all this shit, and so I've got them in my notes app, and I want some kind of AI that has access to my notes app on my iPhone that can prioritize tasks for me and tell me like just put them all together and make me a to-do list, make me a list of like, these are things you should Google when you're bored. And because that's what a lot of this stuff is too, is
I wonder if you could just, because like ChatGPT, like I've had it do, this is the free version. I don't fuck with the paid versions of anything. So like, I know it can do other shit when you pay for it, but I don't know what. And I'm too dumb to even, I don't fucking know. But like I put, like when I was doing college stuff, when I was doing grad school for a couple terms, which I stopped doing for reasons, but we don't need to get in that.
Yeah, same.
It had
but
to
I
do
failed.
It.
I was too busy.
Well,
when I was chiefing, I could not. I did.
Dude, I quit because I don't believe in the ethical framework of the American Counseling Association, and because I spent 2 full terms getting told I was a big piece of shit for being a straight white dude, and I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I'm all for multicultural counseling and all the things like treating people well and, you know, like not, I don't know, like it wasn't that, like their curriculum was like demonizing some groups and it was they're basically being discriminatory in a different way, and it was gross, and I didn't agree with it. But
did I tell you about, so I have my degree from a Catholic school, and it's just because they gave the TA rate, and it was why I chose it. It's all online. And I got so much, like, I want to say it actually affected my grade, but like the stuff from the professor on an online class when I was pregnant and unmarried as a grown adult.
Yeah.
And like they gave me shit for it. And I was like, are you kidding me? In the 21st century, like, come on.
It was so absurd, and I had a hard enough time just generally being a 42-year-old grown-ass man with a lot of life experience, and I was already college educated too, so it's just like my undergrad was probably easier because it was just easy, and I was there with a bunch of kids, like, so I think it's got, like, just college generally has become a lot, it's like a joke now because they're just diploma mills, like, and I mean, I was at a major university going to class in person. So this wasn't like a cheesy Navy online school. Like I was at a major university, and it was a fucking joke. Like it was like the professors were afraid to grade fairly, so they just fucking passed everyone. Like it was so weird. And then grad school was...
1 second. I have a kid at the door.
No, you're good. Go do what you gotta do. But yeah, so...
anyway, we're talking ChatGPT in college.
Well, no, so now, we're what the future of the podcast? You were asking me about notes, organization, AI things, and then we just got distracted.
I organized this into things that I want to contribute to the podcast and things that and not just the podcast, but like to DGUTS of like to the social media and to all of it, to the community, and then things that I'm hoping to bring in from the community, right?
From people.
So things going out, things coming in. So from me, I like want to do regular podcasts on just like experiences, kind of, how kind of when you started of like, hey, this thing happened today, or here's a conversation that came up, right? Just some like basic, this is the real life stuff that's kind of going on right now for me, chiefing, right? Or just existing in the Navy. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to give more like updates on kind of like the Navy news stuff. I still really want to do one on the new chief eval, like new policies as they come out, just even if maybe those things just be like social media short form, I guess.
That honestly, like that would probably be amazing. Like go live on TikTok or something. Like, I think something that could be really beneficial.
There's a guy, I guess you wouldn't know because you're not on the socials anymore.
You talk about the dude,
the fat chief.
Is that? I don't know. He's called the Fat Chief. Is it that black dude with glasses? Is that who you're talking about? Oh, no. Somebody sent me a guy when I was on TikTok for like 5 seconds trying to do it because Arianna wouldn't let me not. And there was a guy that he like, I think he was a reservist maybe, but he would do like,
I know who you're talking
where
about.
he would talk
with the glasses,
policy things or a nav admin or like whatever. And
he was cool because it was very informational. But I think it was.
I didn't.
He was catching me as an audience. I don't think he was going to catch like.
Right. I didn't vibe with just the presentation because it was very like, good afternoon. We're going to talk. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. But like he had
it was good stuff.
Yeah, he was doing good stuff.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't.
But no, there's this guy and it's his thing is just Fat Chief.
Okay. It's not the dude I had on with no Fat Chiefs or whatever, is it?
I don't think so. I want to say this is like relatively new. Here, I'm gonna show it here. See.
Yeah, that's not him. I don't know who that is.
But it's basically this dude. He's a chief, and
is he fat? He doesn't look fat.
So he's going through like a weight loss journey, and he's like,
Good for you, dog.
This is
me too.
People come out and there's a real thing about fat chiefs, and like there's coins about it, and so like it's a meme for a reason. And he's like, and I'm gonna do something about it, and so he does videos of him like
that's awesome
going on walks and giving
that's humanizing updates chiefs,
stuff.
Man. That's cool.
I love it.
That is
I love
so dope.
I think
he's willing to like put that out there, that journey out there, and be vulnerable about that topic, especially like that's awesome.
And I think that
you can't buy
alone,
that credibility with all the money in the fucking world. Good for you.
And I think it just started as like, hey, I'm a Navy chief in this format, like just kind of like I'm being honest and being transparent, hold me accountable, right? But then as he started
that it can
getting,
happen to me too, and I'm gonna work on it, and this is what I'm gonna do about it.
And
awesome.
If you don't prioritize it, then it falls off and whatever, right? And so I think it kind of started like, and that just people were like, I like this character, the character of you, right? And so as he got more followers, then and people start asking questions, and so like he just put out an update. The CNO published fighting instructions the other day. Whatever, it's like 40 pages. I honestly have not finished reading it.
Priorities or something,
I honestly don't know because I don't think there's been a previous version.
I just remembered. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
You don't.
Continue.
Yeah, that's I'm like don't. And I really don't know what the goal of it is. Gotcha. Anyway, I haven't even finished reading it. It's 40 pages, and it's not even a lot of words per page. Like there's a lot of pictures, but it's just so much stuff that I'm like, I don't like. What am I even reading and why? But so I got like halfway through because anyway, and then I kind of forgot about it, and then. Like the next day I was just scrolling on my phone later that night and he had posted he was going on a walk in his neighborhood or whatever and gave like a 2-3 minute video about what this thing was. And I was like, hell yeah. Right.
Maybe
like
reach out to him, see if he wants to do the Navy News podcast shit.
Maybe. Yeah. So, but anyway, awesome. stuff like that. Right. I'd like to do updates on policy changes, programs, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
I would like to get things submitted for topics, like I'll just response to kind of how we first started. If someone was like, hey, here's my problem, what should I do, or how would you handle it,
I love doing those when people had questions and stuff. That it was fun for me to like kind of be their chief for a spin the yarn, you know, like they sent me the question and I'm like, all right, let's talk about it, you know.
Exactly.
But also everybody can benefit from this conversation, not just the person. So that I didn't want to just respond via email.
Of course. Yeah. So those are things I still want to keep up. I thought about doing like another Initiation Chronicles, at least.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. And
I feel like not only could you do it your way, but then try to get people from other communities to do it their way too, because it's very different. Like Seabees is very different from Seals, is very different from, you know, what you guys do with Intel, and So I thought about doing that just because it's different, right? More exposure to, and just to make it available and see what's common and see what's not. Especially for like this year, I'm going to be one of the training leads. And so I get to not only like make the decisions in advance, which I have decisions, you know, we still got to get it approved by everyone else, but like by the boss.
I want to get feedback from the podcast. I already I'm working on earning more Reddit points because I like ruined my last account and you can't post unless you get enough like
I have
points or whatever. But I want to get submissions.
I have a thread I need to send you that I posted one time on Reddit asking basically just asking why do sailors not trust chiefs, and I got like fucking thousands of response. Like the thread.
I'm pretty sure I.
Do you have it saved?
Like flagged it, yes.
Okay, because I was gonna say like it was an enormous amount of really great information.
You didn't even tell me about it.
Okay.
And then when you brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, I already saw it. Like
it was the first time I had ever gotten that kind of engagement on Reddit.
Yeah.
And it was so good, man. Like this type of shit people shared in the thread was amazing.
But like we've already talked about it. You know, I want to completely start from scratch with the training. I don't want to do training in the way, and I say training is like for Chiefs training, season training. I want to do it completely different than how I've seen it.
Yeah.
Because that's how I think a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
And I would like to get ideas, right? Like what did you want to learn when you were coming up as a chief? As a sailor, what do you want your chiefs to know and learn?
Almost certainly meet resistance on that because you're probably at a bigger command. Like in the submarine community, it was almost easier to like my cob didn't really want to deal with it, so he just let me do whatever the hell I wanted, and luckily I wasn't like doing anything crazy either, but like I was able to, I had a lot more freedom I think than you might, and I didn't meet the resistance that you might. I don't know your command, obviously, like maybe they're cool and they're gonna let you be creative.
So we don't do it as a command. Oops, sorry. We do it as a region, as a compound, like because
that's what I mean.
Through the gate, there's like 3 different ones.
Here's your cook pun for the day, kids. If there's so many chefs in the kitchen in those scenarios that you're probably gonna meet resistance on some stuff. So just, you know, buckle up.
Yeah, but we already had a meeting this week.
Yeah.
And it went really well. And the good news is that one of the people from last year is also doing training and is like already had these conversations with their CMC after leading last year about how to make change. They've had these discussions over the last year.
Good.
And
well, there you go.
It's looking likely that what we want to do is, because I was expecting like pushback from even just the other training leads, and because there's one from each command. And then we all got together and we were all on the same page. I was like, oh, this is great. And then I was like, okay, next step, fight the 9s for it. And he was like, no, like I was like, yay, thank you so much.
That's sick.
So I'm excited. But yeah, I definitely want like input for stuff like that, right? I want input.
If you ever need it, like a guest speaker or something, hit me up, dude.
Yeah.
I'll make myself available if it's relevant at all. I don't know. You guys are weird.
I think there's plenty.
Sure, I'm just
evident by the fact that we're doing this right now.
Plus, I might not be welcome there because the CT community doesn't like me very much.
It's not where I was before. I think it was that particular.
But you guys all talk. Place. It's not that big of a world.
It is a very, very small
world. They'd probably be like, "What? No."
No, I bet you there'd probably be a lot of people that are jazzed about it. Like you said, you have a lot of CT followers. Like
that's fair. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think
it'd be cool.
I think it'd be good, but.
I owe you a visit too. I still feel guilty about not coming to your pitting. That was just a dumpster fire back then. I know, but like,
yeah.
Also, that shit is really important to me. So like, I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
but
I think about it way more than you probably think. I feel really guilty.
I feel really bad that I canceled my like plans to the West Coast because I was supposed to go there, and then I ended up canceling them too. Like, and
shit happens.
You know, I was already out. I made it as far as Vegas. So like, and then I was like, I'm going home. I can't do this. But it's anyway.
Yeah, it's fucking life, man.
But then I also kind of want to talk about my last like thing of things I want to do with this is I think I would like to talk more about kind of like personal growth things and not just like leadership development.
Yeah.
Kind of like we were talking about with therapy earlier. This came up in my counseling session this week. Was what does happiness mean to you? I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, you should probably figure that out. And then we talked about, because so I see the MFLAC, the military family and life counselor. She's phenomenal. I love her. Okay. I'm so happy that I found her. She's great. But she was prior enlisted and then became an officer and retired after 27 years. And now she's a civilian doctor. She's fantastic.
Good for her, man.
That's cool. So she has such a unique actual understanding of the Navy.
That's the best.
But also all this professional training.
That's why I wanted to be a therapist, was because like to have my context and have you walk in and not have to fucking give me a secret decoder ring first. Like yes. Or even just try to explain like basic military lingo of like this thing happened, right? So yeah, she's amazing. But she, you know, she was like, well, I said something and she's like, well, what does happiness mean to you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? And as we talked through it, and then as I've been thinking on it more in the last couple of days, is my entire adult life, right? I joined the Navy at 17. I turned 18 in boot camp. My entire adult life, I have been told what to care about. I have been told not even just like where to go, when to be there, what to wear, what to do. I have been told what to prioritize, what to care about, how to do almost everything. And I don't know what my own choices and values and things would be without that. And I think that's what really dangerous. That's what makes the transition so fucking difficult. Is like when all that structure is removed, you have to like, holy shit, because you don't, in examining, like, because people would ask me like, what's gonna replace this for you? I'm like, I don't need anything to fucking replace this. Like, I thought I would get the fulfillment from doing the podcast, and it seemed like reasonable at the time. But then it was like there's all this unseen shit, all the connective tissue,
it's not like you just pulled a thing out that needs to fill it.
That this is around you the whole time that you don't even know. When that gets ripped away, you're like, what the fuck do I do now? Like you're just like, just simple shit. Like when I was getting cancer treatment, they were asking me all these fucking questions about insurance like I was a civilian. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just walk into a building and they tell me what's wrong and they give me medicine and I leave. Like, I don't fucking know what an insurance number and group and fucking, and they were like asking me, it was like an a la carte menu for treatment. They were like, we don't know what your insurance covers, so we can do this or we can do that. What do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. Do whatever.
Like
you tell me.
Like,
make me not fucking die. That would be sick. Like, we can do that. But it was like, I figured out that like, just give me all the Gucci shit because TRICARE is going to pay for anything because I'm a piece of equipment to them. So like, they're going to just fix the shit. So give me, I want all of that top shelf radiation, baby. I want that proton shit. Let's go.
Yes, everything.
And they did. But it was just like, it exposed me for the first time about like how little I knew about things that normal adults just take for granted. Like, fucking, this is easy because I've been doing this since I was 19 and got my first job or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know that I have enough like life things to share, right? Because I don't have life outside of, I mean, I have a life, right? But I don't have life lived experience outside of being in the Navy. But I think the personal side of it, the individual side of it, right? We've talked about it before too, is like this job, right? This is not who I am. It's what I do.
Right.
But that's is who I am.
Thought it would be easier too, is that it's not who I am. It's
really
what I
thinking
do,
about it is this is my whole experience.
Right.
It's being in the Navy.
It's a huge part of shaping who you've become for sure. But
and so without it, like,
but like I'm
and
fine
given the choice,
not wearing a fucking anchor to work is what I
yeah,
mean
I don't
when I
mean
say
chiefing.
that.
I mean
Yeah,
being
it's
in the
like
Navy.
I don't give
Yeah.
a shit. Yeah, and well, even that, like, I was happy to leave. Like, I tell the story of like when I turned my badge in and like that was it. I'm on terminal leave, and I was walking. I had to walk like, I mean, probably like a quarter mile to my car because it's like the parking arrangement on the sub base was a joke. So like,
A quarter mile is nothing.
I know it's not a long distance. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
I
Like,
thought you were
I'm not
implying it was a lot.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I
Jesus.
had like an 8-minute walk to like process, and while I was walking to my car, but I parked at the Navy Exchange, and I like started smiling and I couldn't stop, and then I started laughing like the fucking Joker or something, and I like. It was
like a kid when school lets
my
out,
fucking face hurt when I got to my car. Like, I couldn't stop smiling and laughing. I was like fucking vibrating because I finally was free of this shit. And I didn't expect that, but like, it's just like the weight that got lifted off, just knowing that I never ever have to go back.
Yeah.
It was like, I imagine what if it's like similar-ish to a feeling of like getting out of prison after a really long period.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It was so
like,
weird.
I'm still definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's just the unknown of like,
yeah, it
when
is.
given the choice,
also terrifying. Yeah.
What things will I choose? I actually was concerned about what sweater I was going to wear right now because I had a different one on
because you don't have to think about it. Yeah.
Right. Like I've
embraced I have so much clothing now and like a shitload of shoes. I embraced it as I was retiring of like, I saw this really pretty pair of red skate, like the skate high classic Vans. And I was like, it was like I had seen the color red for the first time. I'm like, I'm going to buy those fucking shoes because I can. And then like, it just blossomed.
It's not like you haven't been wearing shoes for
no, I know, but like
right?
when I was in the Navy,
it's different.
I also had this weird, not that I dressed particularly like professionally in civilian clothes, whatever the fuck that even means, but I limited myself to like certain things because I felt like I didn't want somebody to see me in civilian clothes and like know that I was a chief or a senior chief and judge me harshly because I was dressed in a certain kind of way or something. It was weird.
That is weird. That is really weird. I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Do that. I accidentally wore a shirt that had the F word on it today to my kid's school. So,
whoops.
Like, yeah,
I don't. I was weird. I was like, but it wasn't like I didn't dress like. I still kind of dressed like, but I just didn't put any thought into it at all.
And,
like,
and that's what I normally. It's just like super basic.
Yeah, like I didn't. It was
I
like
buy what's comfy and what's cheap, and then I rotate through
but like since I've retired
different of the same thing,
and then particularly like when I got the job where I was gonna have to go into the office too. I bought other.
That's a whole different world too. Yeah, but so that's a topic I'd like to kind of explore sometimes. I think it's just like human growth stuff.
I like it.
And then things that I want to get from people that I want them to contribute to pretty please is like I would like to have interaction, like, and it sounds cheesy. It's like when you in when you have any kind of class, it's like or GMTs is like you know, this is supposed to be interactive. Come on, participate. Right. But I really do want to get things.
You will 100%.
I want to hear from people.
You'll and I really hope you don't get this, but any comparisons or fucking bullshit about her not being me, just fucking shut up, dude. Like, don't. It's not productive. It's not helpful. Like, but I think what you're gonna get that I didn't get is a whole lot of women that appreciate that now they have a female chief to like, because Christina got a lot of that. I don't know if she's still doing the damn thing on TikTok, but like she got a lot of people like where she spent a lot of time mentoring junior sailors, and I think a lot of them looked up to her because she's this strong, badass, tattooed woman, man. Like she's fucking easy to idolize in that way.
Yeah.
So I think you'll be able to provide a strong female role model for a lot of sailors that don't have access to one. And and I've said too, and not that this is anything you need to focus on, but every female sailor I've ever encountered in the Navy has either been sexually harassed or sexually assaulted. I've never met one that hasn't had that experience.
Me neither.
And I haven't asked every single one of them, to be fair. So like maybe somebody got away unscathed, but I fucking doubt it. And so I think there's like a component of the experience that I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't because it's like, I was talking to somebody, I think it was my therapist actually earlier, about how Amber, who's been on the podcast a million times, helped me understand like the Black experience in America, because I can't understand what it means to like live as a Black person, but I wanted to understand, like, because it was right, like we encountered each other right as like Ferguson, Missouri had just happened, and we were in Petersburg, Virginia, where they did a white nationalist march. There's KKK dudes with tiki torches and shit marching through the town. It was fucking wild. And so like her and I would talk a lot, because I was doing a lot of research and trying to understand it, but there's only so much you can understand academically. She was really like gracious and like was willing to entertain my questions and help me like work through some stuff. And I think that shit is really, really meaningful. And so I think that like there's a way that you're going to be able to like access certain people or reach certain people that I'm just not capable of. And that's fucking awesome. And I'm here for it.
Yeah. I'm definitely available for it. So like those kind of things, any ideas on things, like not just problems that people would be like, hey, what do you think about it? But just any ideas, or like, hey, I heard about this thing. Will you tell me more about it, or whatever, right? Stuff like that. I would like to throw in more like interviews, not like as much as even the ones I was doing on like the Trash Panda times, but Trash Panda Talk times. But just again, having people be involved. I want to do some more of those, more like of the DGUTS and Friends, or like Goats After Dark, or just gatherings fun, for the hanging out. You know,
fun, and Goats After Dark were always my favorite. Like those were super fun. I wish I had done more, but
and I think I have a good group of people to start with for Goats After Dark to do one of those, and then once we do it, open it up to people and be like,
and you'll get like people enthusiastically wanting to do those too. Like the chiefs that want to be involved, like that's always the first request is can I do a Goats After Dark? And I'm like, I mean, we'll get to it, but like, it's because it is super fun, man. It's that was one of the best ideas I think I had.
It was great. And then the last thing, just like we talked about already, but the idea of having a living, evolving, like submission concept, like Proceedings Magazine, like it's just, you can like,
I would love
not involved at all, and you just do it and we post it kind of deal.
My dream was this was going to become like the forum for discussions on the internet about Navy stuff, and it would be like the Wild West, where it's like anybody could submit like anything.
Reddit audio version,
but like video and like specifically Navy stuff, like issues sailors have, because like it all kind of falls under the umbrella of leadership anyway, and people can get value from it. But like just for it to be the forum for that type of discourse, that was the goal, and it just didn't seem to materialize. But I think you'll be able to reach a lot more people, because I don't think I adapted well with when TikTok became TikTok, and like, because I started in, this would have been 2016 maybe. No, it was earlier, in 2014 I think. I don't know, I'd have to go look. But it was just the internet was different, social media was different, and so I think I'd never really adapted to those things, and so I think the podcast growth didn't happen in the way that it could. Like, I think the potential for growth is a lot higher, and because I never really adapted to those things, I didn't do a great job of like clips and reels and all that bullshit too. But like TikTok was probably like almost certainly the move, and I just didn't fucking. I don't know. I just never adapted, and that's part of why I need to fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's productive in that way of like, I need to let you reach them where they are now, which isn't the same place I was targeting, because I was still kind of in mid 2010s mode all the time, because that's just what I understood, I guess. But
and I think there's still a lot that I need to learn too, but I'm just gonna dabble and figure out like what works and
listen like to these kids, man. I learned so much shit from like people like Dakota, or that just have opinions on things. It's like, I like listen to that, because you're the audience that I'm trying to reach, is the junior people.
Exactly.
So like, where do I find you? Probably TikTok, I would imagine, but also Reddit and Discord, and because that's what got
so
me on
many
Discord.
Places, yeah.
A bunch of sailors reached out and said, "Hey, you should come to the Discord server." I'm like, "What the fuck is Discord?"
Yeah.
And they explained it to me and sent me a link, and I'm like, "All right, shit."
Yeah.
Came out, and that turned into the Discord Q&As, which were fucking amazing, and like they're great, they're awesome, and so like it's a really cool community. I didn't even know it was real until one of the listeners told me about it, and that's how I got on Reddit too. It was Ray, I think, that brought me to Reddit. And so I mean, it was, and she was gung ho about. I mean, she talked to all the mods, and the mods gave me permission to post episodes on and all the things. So it's just like, I mean, you'll get a lot from the listeners. As they see the content, they'll be like, "Holy shit, you need to come over here and do this and do that." And
that's what I want. I want the feedback. I want the guidance. I'm here for it. So
I'm so fucking excited for you, dude. Like, me too. I can't wait to see how this unfolds. Still scared. I know.
And I'm just to clarify, I'm not at all scared of like backlash.
Yeah.
Like, because I've been through that. I'm not worried about that. I'm scared of not doing a good enough job, not doing it justice, not like, but I think that's normal. Like that's something I always think of, like with sailors, with my kids, with, I always want to make sure that I do the best I can.
And part of therapy today was even just like, I have this wiring of like, she gives me like a little phrase for each week. And last week it was look up, there's a story involved, but whatever. It was like, appreciate the, like, when you make the climb, look up and like appreciate the view.
Yeah.
But like this week it was like, take the win. And it's because I'm very, very bad at acknowledging that I did good. You know what I mean? Like
unless it's this.
Well, right? Even like, then I find ways to focus on whatever the flaws or inadequacies were, or where I failed and what I didn't accomplish. Like I was explaining like how I
ran a marathon, but I didn't get it in under 5 hours like I wanted.
Well, I set out to make institutional change in the Navy. Like I wanted to unfuck this thing because I fix things. That's what I do, right? Going back to that. So like I wanted to fix the fucking Navy, which is insane. But like in my head, I was like, I think I could like maybe help be one of like, I never thought I could do it myself, but it was like, maybe my voice could help be a catalyst for change.
I would say that is what happened, right? I think it also comes back to the idea of fix, right? What does that mean to fix?
Right.
What state are you trying to get to, right?
Exactly.
But to say that you had institutional change, I would argue that is true, because like the number of people that have been exposed to this frame of thought, whether directly or tertiary, secondary, whatever, right? Like, and it grows and it expands and expounds on itself, right? Like it for sure has made a probably much bigger impact than you realize.
Probably. And I hope that's true. And I hope that one day I get to see it in that way and like accept it. But like, it's something I'm working on. Like, that's my thing for this week, is to like focus on taking the small wins, even just like the example I gave her was the therapist was, this week. So like I said, I've been doing pretty good this week. I've been waking up at a pretty good time and going to bed at the same time ish. And I went to the gym twice this week, which I mean was a little anxiety hill I had to climb in and of itself, because I'm not a very social person. Any extroversion you perceive through this fucking platform is learned extroversion that I forced upon myself as a mechanism for being a good chief. If left to my own devices, I will never leave the fucking house. And so I've been cold plunging this week, which I haven't done in like a year. And just taking good care of myself, eating better. Like, and my wife, this morning she got up to go to brunch with her parents, and I was making myself breakfast, and it was like healthier food, not bullshit. Yes. And she just like looked at me. She's like,
so many wins.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for like how you've been really doing the damn thing this week. Yep. And like, the whole time in therapy, like my therapist latched on pretty quick to the idea that like she's my reason for everything. Like she's the reason I need to unfuck myself and do this work. Like that's why it's important. Because she needs me around, and if I don't do this work, eventually this shit is gonna kill me. Like just the sleep stuff will kill me eventually.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
and how dare you do that to her?
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that also is what works. Like, because for whatever reason, I don't value myself more than her. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like it works when she needs something from me, and that's kind of how this has been framed the whole time between my therapist and me, and between just conversations me and my wife have had. So, but yeah,
I appreciate you sharing that. I also think that's a really big deal, not just with me, but like now with the internet, right? Like that's, it's so important. And so thank you. And I'm proud of you too. I think that's Thanks. Great. Like, I'm so happy for you. And yay.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to, what comes next generally, like, which hasn't been my outlook in a long fucking time.
That's really good then.
Found myself in a place where like I don't like I'll be sitting there consciously thinking to myself, I should be enjoying this more, or I should be happier about whatever the fuck is happening. And like my therapist she says, when you describe your life, you're describing this magical life. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And she's like, your life's fucking great. You have this wife that's amazing, and that that loves you, and you have all these people in your life. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, like I recognize that I have an objectively great life. I have like effectively no stress in my life now. And I built it that way on purpose for fucking obvious reasons.
Yep.
But like I, for some reason, couldn't allow myself to enjoy that and like be in it and stuff. And so like that, it's like I'm relearning how to like turn that part of my brain back on or something. I don't know. It's bizarre. Yeah. It's just, there's a whole thing about cortisol.
That too.
But like,
have you read the book, just because we're on this topic, have you read the book, How to Do the Work?
No.
Me neither. So I'm not sure if I should recommend it. I have it. It's on my shelf.
To me. They're like, it's
on my shelf. I just haven't read it yet. And so if I need to move it up the list, I was just curious. But I was thinking about it earlier when you were talking about, you used the phrase "do the work," and I was like, oh, hold on,
right. And that's just because it's how she frames it, and it makes sense in my head too. Like I need to do this shit
because it is work. It is not happening automatically.
But it's
not
maintenance.
Easy.
It's not. I'm not fixing anything. I have to do these things. Like it's like changing the oil in your car. Like it'll fucking explode if you don't.
Yeah.
So like you just
I can tell you that from experience.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't get my oil changed for a whole solid year when I was a young adult, and I had to replace my engine.
Yep.
Not a good time.
Yep. And so it's just, and when I understood it that way, I'm like, oh, I can do that. Like I've grinded shit. That's all I fucking do is grind. Like it's like that was my whole military career and like deployments and all that shit that happens. It's just like I know how to do this. And when it was framed that way and it like clicked into place, I'm like, oh, I can fucking do that. Like that's all I ever fucking do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Good.
So I'm so pumped. I can't wait to see you doing the damn thing. I'm not doing the cheesy I stand really bullshit, but like I'm pumped for you.
And also because you're not done. Like you're not going to do this anymore, but this is not. You're not riding off in the sunset. Like,
I'll be around.
So even if you wanted to, you're not.
I know.
Not yet.
I'm not. I will always be here for you if you ever need me. And then, and like, if there's just something that either listeners want me around for, or you just feel like makes sense, whatever, I'm always around, and I'm down to do like spots here and there. But yeah, I'm excited for you and for the audience and to see where this all goes.
Me too.
It's going to be dope.
Me too. And I'm excited for you and all of your next chapters and journeys, and what I think is probably going to be really good. Just for you as a human, I think is going to be really good. Yeah. Like, I'm excited.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I always have a blast talking to Arianna, and it's kind of been a while since we caught up in that way. Like we text and stuff, but It was fun to just catch up, but also I'm extremely excited for the future of the platform. I think that a big part of my reason for calling it a day was I don't have that energy anymore. Like that change the world energy, like that I'm going to take on everybody and everything and do whatever it takes. And I had it for the better part of like 25 years. And then I just don't have the gas left in the tank to do what I know she can do. And that's why I'm very excited to see her bring the type of fire and passion that I did at the beginning, for her to be as all in as I was early on. Like, she really is my mini me. And I think you'll see that the more time you get to spend with her through this platform. I know she's, like she mentions it, she's nervous. I know she has a touch of imposter syndrome, as we all do at times. Like at the beginning of this podcast adventure, over 10 years ago, I was that way. I was terrified of any backlash I was going to get for presuming that I was in a position to tell anybody how to behave, let alone Chiefs. And I never experienced the negative reaction I thought I would. I've certainly had some like run-ins with some people, but like never been like almost universally positive response. And I just think she's going to crush it. I'm very, very excited to see where it goes. And I'll always pop in here and there, I'm sure. So you'll see me around, but also just like, I'd be remiss if I didn't just profusely thank everyone that's ever had anything to do with this. This started as a project when I was an A school instructor. We kept me and all my other instructors kept getting all these A school students that would get to the fleet, run into all kinds of tough situations, whether they were thrust into leadership positions early because they put on third fast or something, and just like very low level ones, but like as a galley watch captain on like a carrier, I mean, you're running a watch section, and or even on a destroyer, I think it's like a handful of people, and then there's a watch captain. So like you're just those lower level leadership roles when you get kind of plucked from the peer group and all of a sudden you're in charge of your friends. It's real weird, and like you need help navigating those things. Or probably more common, I mean definitely more common, was they would run into leadership that they didn't understand, that they thought hated them, that may or may not have been toxic, but they were interpreted that way. All those things that we've talked about ad nauseum, and I spent a lot of time on early on in the podcast. I was trying to create like a force multiplication tool, like a resource that was static, that they could access whenever they want, so that they don't have to wait on me to reply to a Facebook message, and I don't have to respond to 100 Facebook messages about the same thing. And then multiply that by the other 24 staff members I think that we had. So yeah, I came up with the idea. I ran it by a bunch of people that I trusted. Everybody thought it was a good idea, and so I went about doing it. And that was over 10 years ago. I apologize if you can hear my German Shepherd snoring behind me, but facts of life. She is sawing logs back there. I can't believe it turned into what it turned into, that it helped as many people as it helped, because that really was the only thing that mattered to me. Was there was sailors that needed something, and I wanted to provide it because I felt that was like the duty I had been entrusted with in my position of wearing khakis and anchors to work. And it was an incredibly logical direction, like a project for me to take on, or a direction for me to go, because I just care so much about sailors, man. I really do. And I don't think I'm as unique as some other people think I am. I think I might be a little better at expressing it in a way that is received well by junior sailors, I guess. Because I've said it a bunch of times, and I got a lot of pushback from junior people about most chiefs care deeply about you. They just don't all have the tools to express it or to kind of like channel it productively. They're kind of regressing to their lowest level of training, which isn't great. And I was guilty of it too for a time as a young chief. So like, I'm not exempt here. I just figured it out. But the ones that you think are toxic a lot of times are just going through it, and they're having a hard time figuring out how to lead, figuring out how to deal with the stress of that responsibility, how to deal with the failures that inevitably come where you feel gutted because you let down your people, dealing with just the emotion. Like I had a buddy say something, like guy I worked with on my last submarine said something really, I thought was really wise. We were talking about retirement and talking about some of the people, and I started to kind of say fuck that guy about somebody that we both knew. And he said, I try really hard not to judge people for who they were in that place. And I thought that was a really great way of kind of like being at peace with and understanding, like, we're all just human beings, and in that insane space where you're under this mind-bending stress, it's incredibly unique. It doesn't happen to normal people very often in life, and so not everybody deals with it well. I feel like I dealt with it well most of the time until I didn't. You know, like I think there was a time at the beginning I didn't deal with it well, for sure. Like when I was a junior sailor, I didn't deal with it well at all. But then even as a chief, man, and a senior chief on my last submarine, when I had my wife in my life, I had a really hard time being at sea because I had never had anybody at home waiting for me. I had never had to miss anybody like that before. And like you don't always deal with it well. You just don't. And so I thought it was really sage advice to try really, really hard not to judge people on who they are in that space going through that experience. And I know it's like an impossible task to ask junior sailors or chiefs it goes both ways to not judge the person by who they are in that place, because you're also in that place. And it's like to try to like detach yourself and see clearly it's a big ask, and it takes a really long time and a lot of work to be able to manage that. And even if you achieve the possibility of doing it, you won't always do it, because there's just going to be times where you're getting ground up in the dust, and you just don't have the capacity. You don't have like the emotional energy to be able to like stay aware and be able to exercise that ability. But I feel like I'm just really, really grateful you all allowed me to be in your ear or AirPods or car or whatever for so long, that you allowed me to do the thing that I love so much and to make a meaningful impact on a whole lot of people. And it's not lost on me, like, at all, the impact I was able to have, because you guys were so great at voicing it. I have stacks of emails and direct messages and just everything that like validated my work here. And I'm really, really grateful for the experience, for your engagement in it. I will very clearly miss y'all. I'm a fucking mess. I'll clearly miss doing it, like miss engaging with you. But I am very at peace with the decision. I think I've probably overstayed my welcome a little bit. And I think it's time for someone younger, somebody that still has the energy and the passion, somebody that I had a hand in developing, to be at the helm of this thing and bring you a different perspective and bring you that energy and continue to evolve the platform in ways that I don't even know if I'm capable of doing. You know, there's some of it's just outpacing me, just the internet and like the social media platforms and the all the other things. Like, I just don't understand it the way that she does and the way that you all do. And while I'm still trying to keep up a bit, I think she's the right person for the job. I think she'll be great for the future. And I think that she'll give you a lot of the things that I'm no longer able to, which makes me very happy. So yeah, again, I really, really, really appreciate everybody that has ever come on the show, listened to the show, like interacted with me in any way, and just supported me as I did this thing that it seems insane that I did it this long. It seems insane that I did it at all in retrospect, but I'm extremely glad I did. I could have never imagined it would have become this and become important to so many people, including Arianna, which is why she's so graciously going to give of herself and her time to take this thing over. I'm sure she'll talk through it, but there'll be changes to the platform. Like, there's some stuff, because she's not running it as a business. Like, I was kind of trying to take it in that direction, and she won't be doing that. So there'll be certain things that'll get kind of shuttered, but the podcast will remain the same. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on all the platforms. I'm turning everything over to her, so a lot of it will be familiar. And yeah, like, I hope to see you all there, hear about all of it from her and her misadventures as she figures this thing out and interacts with you all and does all the amazing things that I know she will. So, thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And that's it. That's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for listening, and don't give up the ship. Please hit the like button, drop a comment down below on what you thought, and subscribe to the channel.